Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. This year, we're introducing structured competitive play in third-person perspective mode for players of all ranks, levels, and ability. Here's how it works in EMEA and Americas. PUBG Players Tour competition is held in 2-week phases. Each week, you and your squad can compete in player scrims. Think of these as a great alternative to ranked play. Each day of scrims will feature a variety of maps, with defined team and lobby sizes to ensure a balanced best-of-3 rounds. Teams will earn points based on their performance, and daily leaderboards will track their progress. When the scrims are over, the top teams will qualify for the PUBG Players Tour Cups, where they will be joined by up to 10 invited teams, featuring some of the best players in the region. Players' Cup leaderboards will track team performances across 2 days of play, with the top 8 squads progressing to the final round of competition. Players Masters are the pinnacle of the PUBG Players Tournament. 8 teams from each of the 2 cups will engage in fierce competition for a huge prize pool in each region across the PUBG Players Tour season. And for times when a Players Masters isn't scheduled, you can still get your PUBG Players Tour fix with Super Cups. These work just like Masters events, where again, 16 teams, 8 from each of the 2 previous Players Cups, compete for a share of the total cash prize pool. Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. You know the game. Be a player.
Here we go. It's PUBG time. PUBG Player Cup is back though, but we're not on the weekend. This feels a bit strange for me, but I'm joined by the amazing Koho. We've got an amazing amount of lobby. We've got people all back raring to go to get some money. Koho, how you been? How you finding like midweek casting? I'm a little bit excited.
It's different. It's different. It hits different, but it's such a weird time to be casting PUBG. Everything is just changing by the second mark. We've just had the Nations Cup announcement that nobody noticed because everybody was looking at the patch notes, right? And lots of stuff going on in the PUBG scene right now. We've got some big streamers playing tonight. That's a change. There's a lot to think about, a lot to talk about, so I can't wait to get us going.
Well, let's remind everyone how we got here and the old news that everyone should be knowing this. That how do you get yourself into this? You at home can be involved. All you need to do is sign up to the Player Tour Scrim. So with the best of 3, and obviously this one was slightly different because it'll be kicked off at the weekend, but normally it starts on Mondays, and you work your way for a best of 3. You get some scores against your name, and if you get to the top of the leaderboard, you get qualified through to where we're at in the purple section, the PUBG Players Cup. There's prize pool. We're playing a best of 8. We're playing 4 each day, so you've got 2 days of PUBG action, and you'll be looking to get yourself in a top 8 position to move on either to the PUBG Players Masters or like we had the other week, the Super Cup. So super excited. This is week number 1. So if you're sitting at home and you think you can achieve this, if you think you've got what it takes to be part of the Players Tour, then to get yourself signed up for week number 2 and make sure you get points against your team's names. That's enough of that. We've seen that. Koho's already given away the big announcements. Yes, we have PNC, but more importantly, there's lots of change, lots of exciting things that are happening because we're on the new PUBG update. That brings massive amounts of changes and differences that I'm excited to see that's coming in later. I think we need to start breaking a little bit of this down, right? So I've got to start with some of the obvious. The BRDMs, right? The ability to have the big boy vehicle to play into the game is going to be huge. But there's not just that. There's loads of other things happening that may or may not have an impact a little bit later.
The BRDM is super interesting because I think it's easy to overstate how good it is. I think it feels OP in a lot of situations. And in solos especially, I think it feels really good. But then in squads, you get focused down, I feel like a lot more. In competitive, you're going to get focused down even more. We already see this with the glider, right? Everybody just drops what they're doing and starts blasting that glider. But the BRDM is so much easier to hit. So that's interesting. And then we already have the Lynx. We already have the Panzerfaust, who are both super effective against the BRDM.
Yeah.
And we're now also getting the C4, which probably isn't going to happen all too much, but could be a thing as well. So not sure how the BRDM is going to play out. My opinion is you probably only use it for 1 rotation, but if you maybe just somehow manage to put it in your compound and keep it safe until the late game, there it's super OP. So
yeah,
there's so many changes we're going to talk about. This one is one that I'm not super sure about what is actually going to happen. I don't think the pros are in conclusion either.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. We don't know how this one's going to play out. It's the big thing, right? But you're right. The Lynx could just annihilate in 3 shots, right? It could be gone. Could you hide it?
And you shoot through the windows. You shoot through the windows with the Lynx. So
yeah. So look, there's a couple of names on here which I think are going to be interesting to see how they get on with it, like the kind of the win or dies, the names that we know. And obviously, as you mentioned already, we've got some big streamers in here as well, so they might try to be putting some content on the line. But like, I'm on the other side. I think the BRDM is going to be played late game. They can't get in. They call it in. They work their way, and maybe they use it for that one rotation, and that's it, one and done. So I think it's going to be played very differently than what we see in the normals. But I think the links will have the big impacts, or maybe the denial to that one. C4 is going to be interesting, especially when we have breaches of compounds. Obviously, the ability to kind of clear. Obviously, got the timer. They have to count that one down. It's kind of an explosive action, but the ability to get away. So I'll be interested to see how we kind of breach into compounds and what these teams do to kind of dig up positions, because they've been a little bit OP, and some teams have got themselves to late game very, very easily if they rotated early and they got away with it. Is this going to be an option maybe to dig them out? But again, we're going to have to wait and see.
It's going to be super interesting. It's going to affect things in a lot of ways. I think it's also interesting in the city circle, right? You see the circle, you know somebody has to push you. You can see for your own building and kind of evacuate and move on, and they can't keep pushing after you. Then they're stuck between the blue and a C4. So what do you do at that point, right? So that's really interesting as well. I had a chat with Nixie yesterday. You know, VP, they're always kind of cooking, and he said that the recall system is coming in. But you can just use that as like a scout EP as well, right? Because the guy who's recalling is flying through the middle of the circle in a plane and then parachuting around. He can get you all the info you could ever want. So you can give up a player, or at least risk a player, for an immense amount of info there. So that's a possibly huge change as well that a lot of teams probably haven't even considered yet, right?
This is big co brain thinking. This is where you come in just to get all the analytics out of them. But you're right. I'm interested to see how people play. I'm interested to see, do we risk going back to get the recall? Do they risk getting that player as the advantage? Do they get the eyes in the sky? Do they sacrifice themselves? There's lots of variables with the recall system. Obviously, you want to keep your players up, but as you've already alluded, maybe people go down early. Maybe people sacrifice themselves and they pick the chip up and they hit the recall system because they know in the next phase, only you can break it down like that, Ko. I absolutely love it. That's why I love casting with you. And then we've got to talk about weapons. We'll talk about weapons because we've seen a decrease in the AUG. Are we going to see less of them? We're going to see the M4 become back to kind of the meta. Do we see a shift towards the 7.62 guns? I'm a big fan of the Ace anyway. Or does the crazy VSS start appearing back in these lobbies? Again, the guns are going to be a bit of a big play, I feel. Are people too used to the AUGs now, mate? Do we just hold in that position and then go from there, or do we actually see them now starting to go back to the M4s or go back to 7.62? It's
always going to take a while because the change is small, but what you can't disregard is there's also a 50% reduction in aim punch for the AUG, for no other gun. So that is a big buff, I think, and that's a buff that people don't instantly feel because you're not getting aim punched, or at least you're like while you're shooting it, so it doesn't feel worse for you. But you are going to lose some fights that you would have won otherwise, just because of that change. And the one damage nerf is, I think, significant, but it's also in order. The AUG was so much better than the M4. There was no reason to play the M4. Basically, nobody was playing the M4 on purpose. At least nobody at the top was doing it. Everybody would pick it up as a replacement for the AUG, but not over the AUG. So I think that's a really good change. I don't like nerfing guns by aim punch because I feel like it's a bit of a it's a mechanic that you don't feel yourself, and when you feel it yourself, it's really frustrating, right? Your aim is just going into the sky and you lose the fight. But I think the AUG nerf is good and necessary. So I think it's gonna just bump it down a bit. I don't think it kills the gun or anything like that, but it's gonna make things a little bit more balanced.
It's interesting. We'll have to wait and see. As I said, there's lots of changes. I think the biggest one for me, from the most critical, is going to be the recall system. The fun factor is going to be kind of the C4 and the BRDM and see how they play. And we're going to take a couple of games. Obviously, these guys, the patch just come out. This is the first event that's going to be showing it as well. So again, the players, they don't really had a lot of time to test it. Yeah, we've seen these vehicles, we've seen the recall system in normals, but actually underneath a competitive environment. Obviously, this is a TPP competitive environment as well. So again, arguably, Koa, we're still learning, we're still adapting back to kind of that old school PUBG methodology of can we hold, how do we breach compounds, can we hold space? So again, it's just kind of another layer of a complexity. But we've got a stacked lobby, we've got some major teams in here. We've got the likes of Pixel. We know he likes to break things down. I think he's praying for the boat to appear because he was one of the first guys that started putting bikes up against doors and stuff. stuff, so I wouldn't be too surprised for him to start if we had got the inflatable boats appearing inside buildings and stuff like that. So he's going to be one of those players that I'm really interested to see actually given this utility.
Yeah.
We've seen him, Ko, in trenches with mass amounts of gas cans on the outside, praying for people to come down. He's surely got to be the first person that picks up that C4.
I just recently had the pleasure, we did a bit of a content piece with Ascend, sort of reacting to old clips, and the Pixelic double blue zone clip was in there, and that's kind of what I always have to think about, where he was the first one to realize, if I get breached, I can double blue zone myself, and I'm dying, but I'm taking the entire team with me, and it's just that little bit of, inventive spirit that separates him, in my opinion, from a lot of other players on the pack, because he's a really good, really solid player, but he's also a little bit ahead of the meta at times. So that really is what makes him a bit different. These are the teams we have today, and I think it's a fantastic mix, Mark. It's a very different mix than usual. We have the PGS teams back, so we have a lot of the best teams in Europe and in the world, right? Literally a PGS winner showing up tonight, and a lot of our partner teams. And then we've also had a bit of a looser week on the qualifiers, because there was 2 different qualifiers running at the same time, right? The scrims were running at the same time as the EWC qualifier. So we end up with a bit of a thinner field there, maybe. So I think it's a very polarized lobby, and it's going to be a very different sort of feel than what we're usually seeing, where the lobbies are very stacked and very close to each other in skill.
And this is where people are sort of, because we had the WC quals kicking off, and obviously, as you mentioned before, obviously the qualifiers let's coming through. I feel like, whereas before we have kind of the week 1 that's like the superstar teams, and they're all here, and it's major. And then week 2, the teams that either didn't qualify or didn't quite get through, they get the second chance, get the second opportunity, and arguably they have great games in week number 2 as well, and they get themselves through to their next stage, right? But this one, you're right, it feels different to me. I feel like we're going to have a balanced week 1 and a balanced week 2. Interesting to see if our household names completely pop up. I'm really intrigued to see actually with our content creators, like with the Corkies, like what do they do? How do they break down? Because arguably they're still mechanically really, really good teams. And we mentioned Pixel being a creative player. These guys and girls think very differently as well, right? So they will try and break things down. They will have their own tricks up at their sleeves that they might want to try and bring to lobby, and that might throw off an individual like a BB team, like a Foot, like a Navi, like a Geeky, or does it come down to kind of raw esports talents? I'm intrigued. I think you're right. This is going to be an interesting week for me.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, they are coming in at a time where everything's coming in that they're used to, right? They're used to C4s and BRDMs and EMT kits that we haven't talked about yet and all that stuff. So they're a little bit more in tune with those mechanics because they play a lot more pubs than a lot of the esports players do. So they will be ready for that, but they also do have to just mess with the insane amounts of skill on a GK, on a BB, Navi, Twist, Foot, right? That's going to be a bit of an eye-opener for them. I spoke to Corky ahead of the games a little bit, and he said, yeah, we're kind of just winging it. You know, we got a little help from Scoom. He told us where the teams are landing, so that's helping us out. But we're coming into this, and we're just trying to have a good time because it's going to be hard. We know that we can't possibly prepared to face some of these teams who have made it their lifetime job to be good at this game, right? So they know that, and I am super excited to see what that translates into when we start these lobbies now.
Well, look, it's have fun. That's PUBG, right? We're playing a game. But as I said, that they're going to have a different approach to this game, mate. They're going to have a completely different approach to this game, and that is going to put some people off. You can, the other side of things, the super highly competitive teams, they're used to playing with each other, used to rotate in a certain way. They're going to know where people are and aren't at certain times, right? Based upon a zone shift. You throw a mix into that, like a group of content creators like Corky. And again, as I said, these guys are mechanically gifted as well, right? They're able to ensure they get those confirms, those kills. They've got the communication because they play a lot of this. And you're right, they're used to some of these new additions that have been added, which is really good. Anyway, it's week number 1. It's day number 1. More importantly, it is match number 1, people. We've got a south central up towards the northeast. Does favour the east side of the map. I'm not going to mention it because I know Cohen will dig me out of it. It's not a bad start. There's not too many hot drops. A little bit of a congestion maybe on this late section. Looks like we might have a cruise and mini split, but not a bad start here for game number 1.
And look at that. Look at the northeast side. Look at Al-Zahar. That's our streamer team with Glorious, Corky, Danu, and such. Already getting themselves a good loot spot, a free loot spot, uncontested. While some other teams that have been doing this a little longer are looking a little bit crowded there around, especially the truck stop area, right? A little bit tricky there. South Leone is a little bit stacked as well. I think I see one of the Wild Division players there in trouble in between Skittles. So, not everybody having a drop as clean as our streamer friends. And there we are. Chara already out. Hakimaru picks him up. Skittles with the first kill of the tournament. And we are starting. It's an Eastern zone. Yes, I'll give it to you, but Islands, it ain't happening, Mark. It ain't happening, Mark. Get real. Get real.
Oh, you are such a hate with the Islands. No, I think you're right. I think there's just too little of it remaining in. We've got obviously a part of the northeast which is unplayable. We've got lots of water in there, so there's going to be a lot of temptation to look that way. But I'm with you on this one. Might see a play back down. Foot Esports obviously going to be dropping for Impala. Good to see the new boy pick up. Scav officially announced today that he's joining Foot Esports. There has been a little bit of a shift up with Vard moving on and Crexy also moving on and changing team brands and colours. But it'll be interesting to see how he sort of plays. It's interesting to know that he did try it for Foot Esports back in the day. So it's not like he's a brand new. He plays with these guys before. So there is an element, there is some chemistry there as well. But when you apply it to pressure, when you apply it to tournaments, and I know this is a different format, right? But you still got to keep an eye on him and see actually how he produces today.
Love that. He is not super known on the big scene. Like a lot of viewers will not know who Scav is, but amongst the players, everybody knows he's really, really good. He's had some good times with Finnish teams, Primal most recently, and he's always been an absolute carry on those teams, both with the comms, the calls, and the gameplay. So super excited to see how they do, and excited to see Pixel on a new in-game name. I was actually, I think I was chatting. I was chatting with him in my stream the other day, and I was listening to Big City Life, and I think I might have triggered a rename. So good to see that for Pixel here.
Absolutely love it. Well, got a rotation for them. He's a little bit further back here. For those who don't know, Pixel is the Big Belly Life. I absolutely love it. And the 280901, that is going to be your T-Bone, the leader and charge. Anyway, I think while we're waiting for some early game, there is a little bit of potential fighting. I think we do need to talk about the new pointing system, because obviously it was announced just before it came live, and obviously is different. So normally we get scoring from 8th place upwards, but it's not anymore, is it, Koa? We're actually scoring a little bit further in. The kills are stored the same, so there's no change there. And obviously we are again working our way towards that sort of first placement. But first place is 5, and then second's gonna be third. Third place will be 2 points, and fourth will be 1 point. So you've got to again work harder to get into the top positions here.
Yeah, and it's halved, right? So it's less placement points in the total lobby, and it's less placement point for the top spots. So it is a different game now. It is very, very kill heavy all of a sudden. And we are just playing around with the formats here a bit. So we're testing things out. I think it's fair to say this is a test, right? PUBG's going to look to see how this goes. I think this is a good format to test as well. Much better than to test it at PGC. And while Don't Panic is testing the waters here, they have been caught. Ultralight picks up the first, and now he's hoping that he doesn't get traded, so he gets a chance for more.
Yeah, that's a big loss there, Global Army. Big loss to the team. They do get one. He's able to get Ultra White, but the rest of the guys for Winstyle are closing in, so they've picked up the quick kill and the confirm, so point on the board for them. Now they're going to be breaching over the top. Now, sound is going to be queued as just having a little look over the other side. I think he's just waiting for the reinforcements. Dib's going to be here as well, but he's already behind the tree. He's seen him. Now cooks an 8, goes over the top. You can see the cook counter now. Doesn't quite get the connection as they do reposition, but nice hold here from Don't Panic.
Good reaction from them as well. Good way to clear that concrete is to get up on the hill around it. That's a big whiff though. CC Next trades it out last second. The trades are coming in. And they do get bailed out here at least a little bit. Dibs gets himself his though. It keeps it interesting. That being said, yes, he's got them down to low HP, but he hasn't got the knocks he needs. And that cross across the road is looking super dire now. He wants to go for it. And they've been falling down because they've been getting shot in the back, but Surely there's a bit of util coming his way. Surely they want to confirm these knocks, right?
Yeah, I think the Eternal Fire claimed one, haven't they, in the kill feed? The Esports also doing the same. Smoke goes on. CCI is going to be working up, but the only next placement he's going to do, if he's got it, is the heavy util into position. No, he doesn't have it. He's got 2 smokes in his back pocket. Yeah, it is Eternal Fire. The Mad takes a little bit more damage. That's going to force Don't Panic to maybe not panic. And we'll go for a reposition, but they'll be looking to try and work their way over. But for me, the time might have already been spent. He gets a feed in, and then it comes through. ZT will claim one. They see the breach come over the top. Great kick up, though. CCI next, though, catches, though, Winkley as he runs through the smoke.
Yeah, now Debs is in trouble. Gets into the smoke, tries to get into some sort of safety, but CCI next, he has a massive angle here. It doesn't even need it. Foot picks it up. Just takes that one down. Keeps things pretty for themselves. Don't Panic get themselves at least 2 members standing. But not what they would have wanted with such a powerful compound here, Mark. They were the ones that originally got aggressive. Yeah. And they got punished real fast.
It's part of that. The Eternal Fire will cause them huge amounts of issues. I know they're at some distance here, Eternal Fire, and more of a sovereign position to where they are, but as you sort of breach yourself over, as you're trying to crest and they're trying to take the fight, they're getting tabbed in the back here. South side of zone, very, very far away from zone. PWD is taking a couple of shots, though, because he actually gets the confirmation, and NLV, well, have lost one. They're about to lose the second, and I think it's a full confirm as they will continue to rotate a little bit closer towards zone. But again, early couple of kills here from the boys from Geek8. Gonna be happy with that. There's that second confirmation. 2 points, and they'll be looking to drive their way now back into zone.
Already understanding the way of the game, the nature of the game. Kill points being worth, yes, the same amount of points, but if placements are half, then kill points are doubled relatively, right? So rotation camps, early aggression, third parties like we've seen here as well.
Yeah.
Become so much more attractive. Kill steals also just become double the problem that they were before, right? That Eternal Fire and Foot picking up most of the points here. It's gonna sting for the teams who originally broke off that fight. Now, they're trying to go for the 2v1. They don't quite know he's here, but the trade's still there. Well played. CC next.
Nice.
Picks that one up. Can get an easy, quick res here. And they're just not stopping their aggression here. But look at that. That looks like another kill stolen to me.
Still. There you go. Didn't take long. Twisted Minds now find themselves with a point on the board as well. I'm intrigued as well. Like, obviously we Don't Panic. They're in the position where they can maybe get the chips. They can maybe try and push, but they're in the middle of zones. So do they need to yet? Maybe just keep the blue chips in the bag for now and wait for this next zone shift to happen. Truck stop's completely free. We can see it now on the map. Obviously, Footy Sports working their way down. So, again, a new feature which is... Well, no, it's a new feature. It's a feature that's been in the game, right? Especially with normals. It's a new feature now on ranked and the competitive format. There goes my hopes and dreams. But now, like, they've got to take options. The zone shift away. Do they risk maybe the play to truck stop? Do they risk just trying to hold out and maybe try and catch a bit later? Do we see people try and play for the recall system? I'm kind of intrigued to see, especially for game number 1. Maybe we don't get it. Maybe it takes a couple more games before we get the opportunity to see what teams do, especially if they've lost the body early.
It looks super attractive here for Don't Panic, right? They've picked up the kills now. They've kept 2 up. All of their teammates that have gotten flushed are in close vicinity, and they can get the reses. They could also go to Minas Generales for the reses. But Truckstop maybe even better because he can re-loot that. Navi's on the pull-up, but Navi's getting cleaned up right now. Eternal Fire with 3 knocks already. I think it's just 1 left stun.
It is great shot. First, unfortunately, does fall, so definitely 1 remains. And obviously, Navi with the pull-up. It's an area which they sort of play into. Getting caught on a far here. There goes the double flash. Now goes around the other side. There's Cheetah. Reach run. Uses the car now to cover. Pre-fire will come through. And that's Navi. They're going to be one of the first teams going down. Now, 15th place for them. Eternal Fire put another 4 points underneath. That's number 5 for them. Not a bad hole. Storing zone. Still waiting. And our teams like BB also round their compound, potentially knocking on the door to try and take the position away from Eternal Fire.
Navi just straight up sending it there. That's interesting. Maybe they figured out some weakness. Maybe they figured out there wasn't going to be a lot of players here, but Eternal Fire was ready for it. Freeside's taking a whole lot of shots at Twist now. Lou's got to be careful. He's one bullet away from getting knocked, and he still hasn't figured out how to take cover here. Cantix finally converts 7 damage from him. The rest of the shots were all from teammates, but he's the one who gets the knock. He's the one who actually costs Twist the time here. They gotta try and figure out a reset here because they're looking worse for wear.
7.7 is the extra point that matters. That's what it was that got him knocked. You're right. Damage taken, but you know you've got that one player in your team just like, oh, I got the knock, I got the kills. Yeah, you didn't do all the work.
Look at Don't Panic. I see them on the map. They're going for the first ever blue chip in PUBG
Esports. They've gone, yeah, minus. Yeah, you're right. They've actually played out of zone now. So that is a really, really big tell sign, right? And this again is going to play into them. Based on the timer when they will come back. You can see the clock coming down. 128 is on the bottom when we look at those map feeds, right? So when you go to the map screen, guys, just remember there's a new section on the bottom right-hand side. That's where you're going to be able to understand what time are we seeing those recalls. But they are the first team going for the recall. They've got the kills, as Kara's mentioned before. Now, more importantly, they are going to get those 2 bodies back. Back to the fight now at the moment. Scav, though, looking to hag around the corner. A couple of shots come through. Blue zone has caused some damage, but no connection on a knock just yet. A foot reposition, looking to try and figure out if they can pick them apart. And the nades, well, one gets through. Doesn't quite get the connection. No, it does. It's Pixel. He picks up one. No, they're not able to get out the other side here, Kowo.
Gotta get 8C res as well. That's gonna slow them down. The damage is now just pouring in from all sides. Multiple teams already third-partying it. We can see it on the minimap as well. Multiple teams looking very interested in that fight. As Foot, they had a bit of a chance here to give this up and play the combat that they had before. But again, I think this comes down to the new point system as well. They really, really want these points. They really want these kills. Position doesn't matter as much anymore if you're not converting it into kills. That is what Geeky tried to do earlier. Now, there's a bit of aggression coming back, but Quizzy's going for a good drive-by, finds one of them and very low HP, but they don't give him the angle, they don't give him the peek, they're making it awkward, and Divik's been flushed.
Divik's flushed, but maybe not out. Maybe not out. They're going to see if they can get him back up here. Quizzy takes a couple of shots, so Nade does get the connection. Chewy will fall down. Best is causing damage as well. Carl will fall down on the adjacent side. Has to just reposition. He does move away from the bowl he was originally in, but he's trying to find safety. But the third party, actually, again, there's a lot of high ground coming through from Don't Skittles, and actually Skittles going to be causing the damage, and Skittles denying the opportunity now for Wild Division to go any further forward. Actually, now the guys from BB can refocus how they reposition in.
Look at the compound fight as well. Foot has just sort of been out-rotated by the solo that originally bridged them, that originally were fighting.
Well, talk about taking on a team here from Labs. Taking on Twisted Minds. The knock. I could be confident with that, Karo, but it's stopped them the ability to kind of breach. They've got some high ground out a little bit more in the west. Footy Sports driving their way forward, understanding the bodies are down. They're repositioning, chasing down. ZT has to get down towards the top here. He won't look around the corner. Sends the boys around the adjacent side. There's a Pixel special stopping them getting in the window if you didn't see that.
Pixel spike stops him from getting in. That is, the tables have turned.
Literally.
Love that. They're going to clear this out though. AT has a shotgun. They've got some util. They might not have a whole lot of util left, but they can wait out the smokes comfortably because they're sitting pretty in a compound here. They can't just wait. This is a cheeky spot though.
This is a
They might not quite
HP.
expect this.
Yeah, but why has he got the smoke? Get the nade, right? I suppose there's a re-smoke in there. Oh no, he's dropped down. Oh no, he's fallen into the lion's trap. There's a shotgun in front though. He swaps to the barrel, jumps down there, go for the spray, and actually scabbed, and Ewo picks him up. That could have been very, very explosive. Footy Sports could have gone for a full breach and run past him. Not going to be the case. Back on the other side though, Twisted Minds, they've lost Perfectus. Petulins is bleeding out as moment as well. Example, leading this charge forward. Nade's coming back over the top. Lou has to take a reposition. The vest is pretty much done here from him. As free side trying to continue to apply the pressure. Perhaps haven't pushed after the initial knock. There's no need. just yet. And there you go. Don't panic. Have reinforced. Geeko, take the E-rotate and towards the center of the zone. Waiting for that pop to happen. Goes towards the top where no one is. Truck stop still remains in. And Geeko should get a completely free pass for that.
Completely going to the free side. You love to see it. That's exactly how an EP can go, and it's the best case scenario. Atlas Esports out on the more congested side, on the stacked side, being peppered from two teams. Dano and the rest of the lab addicts going into truck stop on that northern side as well. They realized, hey, there's a bit of space here we can grab. Why not take it? Making themselves neighbors of GK, one of the most scariest teams in Europe. It's going to be a challenge. But so far, I really like what we're seeing from them.
Again, I might just because I end up casting with you, I might be overthinking things. Do we see teams now starting to reposition and taking these kind of recall spots back as priors compared to other compounds? I think we have to wait and see how that kind of unfolds. Labs have moved in. GK hold the higher ground here. They think a couple shots towards free side. LV. You get Skittles in the line of sight. It's going to be eventually down. And they will finish him off, though. A couple of kills will go to Storm. That zone shift, though. We are seeing more emergency pickups come as BB take to the skies as well. Long rotation in from NLV, but I'll give you, they've cleared an element of that. They just need to make the timing right when they come off the high ground and how they rotate in.
Not going to be all too easy, but there is a bit of space in front of them. I just don't know if they have any cars left. I doubt it at this point. And they've left it so late. Maybe I just didn't spot them. BB makes the EP across. Besto is very, very far from the rest of his squad, though, Mark. He is alive, but he's not a solo. The rest of his team is just somewhere completely different. So, I'm not sure what happened there. Not sure if that was intended or not. Maybe somebody said, let's go for the ridges. And 3 players meant the west ridges, and Besto thought it was a little bit more east. But we'll have to wait and see how that turns out in the end. They got plenty of space here. Not in a dominant position, per se, but a very livable one.
Yeah, playing the odd state it plays back that way as well. We've seen so many zones fall to that side as they sort of storm off where GK is and that high ground and sort of work their way down. The rest of the team, as you've already mentioned, are closer towards that truck stop on the west. They've got area to play. There's a lot of flat plateaus that you can sort of wiggle your way around. On the south, just in mind, able to recover Patulings. They are down to a 3 here. They have 30 Sports pushing in from the south. Free side unable to leave their compound. Lab's gone for a 2-2 split. Geeko, well, they find that solo in BB. Besto, he's flushed out. No blue chips, no return from him. Has to be a wild move from BB team if they wanted to get back to a 4.
2 observations here from me. Don't Panic has probably been dealt the best hand to use a blue chip, right? They've lost members, but they've gotten kills for it. And they had bodies to loot when they came back, and they didn't have to already move. So the scenario couldn't have been better for them. That doesn't help you when you get caught by Shilla. But they have now been put in a really interesting situation where they've essentially fully reset from a 2-man into a 4-man. Second observation, there's blue chip recalls, but we still only have 33 players alive. So far, it hasn't really changed the amount of players alive all too much. If anything, there should usually be more players in this server.
Yeah. I don't know if that comes down part and parcel of, do we know? You don't remember. Is everyone used to this? Maybe not yet. But yeah, Don't Panic have been dealt, I suppose, the best hand in the zone. And the ability to get those blue chips back up. Now they're trying to deal the hands towards Eternal Fire. Molly will follow, looking for the breach. He does scout over the top of the ridge. Smoke just allows to get a bit closer, but Sheila, explosive push from outside the blue. And the second aid will come through. It's going to be short. He does fall down now towards the zones. We have to get the information, though. Eternal Fire pop out on the other side, but gets caught, though. The CCI next sprays through the smoke. Catches that final player from Eternal Fire on the south side. I don't know if they've realised the other duo is a bit further around on the other ridge.
Doable now. Don't Panic. They turned this around into a very doable one. The Mad nails one, though. And the third party from Pixelic makes it so much harder. Don't know if they have a ton of views to left. I saw a molly there. That was it. Maybe to close out a little bit of the space that Eternal Fire is playing. But now the push is there. Now they're getting third parties. Western flashed over the top, though. Damage is still coming in. But just like that, Pixel gets another. They're getting ruined by this third party.
What? And they survive. They survive. They are luck of game number 1. Pixel causing damage. He's too far away to sort of continue that pressure. Labs too far. And unfortunately for Eternal File, they are going to fall now with 8 teams remain. But don't forget, we're not on the placement points just at the moment. Scav goes down. T-Bone has been confirmed. And it is just down to Pixel causing the damage towards Don't Panic. But we still need more teams to fall. We still need the opportunity for the zone to come back, especially for people like Pixel, if he wants to be alive when it comes down to the placement points.
And again, the kill steals so much more relevant now. Twist picking up some of those. Eternal Fire getting basically none of that fight, even though they do so much damage there. It's gonna sting. BB have made the move towards the compound here a little bit earlier. They wanted to be in a safer position, not as open. And now, for the first time, Freeside's coming out of the compound, trying to get a little aggressive. Bato, on the other hand, they've been rather passive all game. I feel like we've just seen them get knocked a lot until they now finally were able to engage in third party that Western fight. They're not now going to try and take out CC Next, keep him out, I should say. And then they have a very, very playable side.
Yeah, the zone's just back their way. Like to say, how long for Geeko to survive out in the blue? So there might be a few tricks in the belt now with this new update. Especially when you get something like Beamy in the lobby, maybe. King of the Blue. We'll wait and see. Zone shift back towards that west. Just in mind, go for a position just on the outside. They know that Don't Panic have received a loss. You see our next final player now for them. Let's go for the deployable shield. I think he's just waiting for Util to come over that ridge line. Pixel is also in pursuit here, so maybe looking for that third party action. Twisted Mind looking to try and breach their way up. Pixel takes a couple of shots now. Example gets him down to a 1 shot, but unable to get that conversion. And Twisted Minds have to rethink this push now because they're in a little bit of a solo sandwich.
Solo sandwich, and it's a deadly one. CC Next gets the first, but Pixel picks it up. Placement points are getting close now. But more importantly, another kill point gathered. Freeside losing members, bleeding members, but taking out BB team. And Fuzzy Man, who I have been told is a mod of Glorious, so not a competitive player by any means, picks up one with a bolt there. I love to see that as well. I love to see comp players getting bolted by the Pub Legends as Pixel finally out. He does a lot of damage. MG3 is nuts. Pixel is nuts. But it's a little bit to deal with.
Well, welcome into the placement points. According to chat, half price chicken. As we will be looking for flesh, we'll get 1. Obviously, then we'll work our way up. So 2 for third, 3 for second, and an amazing 5 points for first place. So again, kills are going to be king here. That's what I interpret the placement point change. Still 1 point a kill. We've got 4 versus 3 versus 2 versus 2. And Labs have got the numbers up. They've been calm, cool, and collective, though, out on that west side. They've held a very big 2-2 split for quite an amount. And as a result, a couple of kills. But actually, they've got the numbers to try and drive forward and get the first win here.
I want them to win it so bad. I want them to win so bad.
Yes, me too, me too.
Imagine Twisted Minds get swept aside by the Lab Addicts. I'd love to see it. I know as well. I think I've seen Corky with a bolt as well, and that man is an absolute menace. That man is an absolute head clicker. When he does get his bolt, does nothing all day but driving around pubs and bolting people, so it shows. Comp players might not quite be ready for it. GT, on the other hand, he's got a 3 helm. He doesn't have to be all that ready for it. But he has no vest on the other hand, so body shots will do a whole lot of damage to him. And like you said, right? Labs, they got the numbers.
Got the numbers. See if they get the conversion. I suppose there's an element as well. Kind of the first time there's no expectations here. They're coming here to have fun, but they've got themselves in the top 4 position. They've got themselves now in placement. So worst comes to worst, they're on 2 points as it stands, but they have the numbers. They just need to control. Freeside are the closest team to them. Twisted Mind's now holding the south side. Does shift back towards Labs here, and it kind of drawing in a potential victory for them. We'll have to wait and see if they're able to do it. But they've got to keep their nerves in check here. They can't be caught out. It's Freeside. Well, they look to push this way. Nade comes over the top. Does it clear? Doesn't quite clear the rock. They're able to reposition and get back into cover. Still hold that 2-2 split here from Labs.
Next nade hits the rock. Glorious brings one back. He does damage. Almost 40 on Cantix there. Time is on their side as well. Both of these teams will have to leave their current position, but I do think it's a little bit easier for Labs to make the transition. There's a nade that finally goes past the rock. Does damage onto Danu. There's a second one coming her way, but that one goes a little bit too far. Even Glorious already retreated into safety. And Danu has already got the heal on off. So Freeside isn't getting anything just yet. And there it is. There is the third party. There's a team coming from the back lines. There's not a whole lot of time left for Freeside to do anything.
No. Here comes a push out. Someone requested the kills, and so far they're requesting some more here. 22 without the best though. Storming forward. Another couple of kills. 11 on the belts now for Storm. Good hold. They have the MG3 as well. Enough ammo to take him through. It's a 4 versus 3 versus 2. Some request also unable really to move. Maybe this was a position to go, hey, do you know what? Let's get a couple more kills and sort of tab out at the moment. Just in mind, the example, reposition towards the east, looking to try and do the same. Might come to a bit of a standoff here on the road. Might be Twisted Minds versus Labs, but they've got to hold the push. Storm on request, and Crazy Lou, he sees the opportunity. He actually gets one, but straight back. Corky with a bolt, he puts him straight down.
That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm talking about. Corky calls himself, I think, the goofy bolt guy, and he shows that it pays off. Practice makes perfect. Puts him down. Comp player's not used to getting bolted all that much. And there's another one that connects. It's another bit of damage farmed. Corky is connecting with this bolt right now, and he's in a dominant position to do so as well, Mark.
He's got the high grounds. He leaves a little bit of zone, but also Twisted Minds do the same. Example, Storm holding out that east side. Storm need to get the reposition as well. Labs still got their numbers, so no change. A little bit of punishment either side. A little bit of a reminder of actually why we are here. Corky though, all eyes. Bumblebee, level 2 helmet on. No damage. So, uncontested so far, really, but they do need to think about how they position. New skin on the car, that gives them extra opportunities as well. As Twisted Minds, with the experience of these zones, they move themselves into a position, making sure they've got a foothold into late game.
There you see exactly what Twist wanted to do, right? They've realized that's the spot we got to play. We don't have to take a bigger risk than this for now. We can reset here, wait for an opportunity, wait for Labs to get knocked. Maybe we find the knock, maybe Storm on request does. Get to slow it down. And then we get to see what's going on. Nobody's running across that road. Nobody wants to get bolted. They're not taking these risks just yet. But they will have to take them when another zone passes. First though, Storm on request. Gotta make their move, but they're also looking like they're in zone there.
Observer, though, giving a little bit of a buff here to Corky. You know, there's the additional pressure. He's firing a couple of assaults, Twisted Minds, using the smokes now to sort of move forward. But you're right, they don't have to engage much more than that. They've got themselves a foothold. It's phase number 8. It's going to go 22 seconds into the dot. Still 4 versus 3 versus 2 here. Storm have found an element, but they are going to be the ones that have to run the sand dunes in front, and now going to have Twisted Minds and the Labs with the higher ground to provide the pressure. So my logic being, we're going to see that kind of Labs versus Twisted Minds, and might come down to reaction speed. But Lou, no vest, no helmet. He's got to be so careful. At what point does he want to breach out this this bunker that they've made? And which team do they want to take the fight with?
That is sort of the hidden second wind that the bolts get, right? Is when nobody has vests anymore. You just one tap people to the body. And that does happen a lot in the late game. Now, the problem is they're walking into each other. They don't really know where to go. They don't have a whole lot of space left. The zone's shifting in. They're not used to this kind of pressure. Oh, it's disaster. It's just one left standing. It's Glorious on top. He's got to make it down somewhere, and he won't.
Oh,
welcome to PUBG Esports. It ain't as easy as it looks. Oh my!
Absolutely love it. Absolutely. And that's it. That is it. Winner, chicken dinner. The discipline, the knowledge. Well, it comes to fruition at the end. Storm on request going to take the kills. They're going to take the damage. But that one move from Twisted Minds, putting them in position because they knew how to try and close the game out, right? And where they needed to do it from, they gave themselves the ridge. Yes, we saw Lou without a helmet. Yes, we saw him without a vest. They didn't need to move. They just waited. Yeah. Labs got squished up against a rock, and then we've got absolutely pincer attack between Storm on request and Twisted Minds. But do you know what? I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do. The fact they've got themselves into a top 3/top 2, top 3 at the end, it's a good showing for them. It's a good showing for them, and it's their first game, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that they're not losing members early, right? This wasn't the hardest game they'll ever play, circle-wise and everything, but the fact that they're not losing members, they're getting some knocks here and there, they're picking up some kills. Love to see it. Beautiful to see. And you know, you watch this and you think, yeah, man, this guy's seeing shots with a bolt and Twist is just driving around with a Mirado. Like, how lame is that? But these guys have been years at maximizing their odds of winning PUBG games. And they know exactly what it takes, and they know exactly what it doesn't take. So shout out to them. Well played for Twist. And yeah, again, it's a rough welcome. It's not easy. It's not easy to just try and break into that scene when your focus has been elsewhere. Well, these guys have been just mindlessly grinding away at it.
That's good. It's good. They're here. They're here. And do you know what as well? Don't forget, obviously, the points are slightly different now. We're only 5 points for first. And obviously, it goes 4, 3, 2, and then 1. So top 4 is what we're looking for when it comes down to actually the end game. So when we get the little graphics at the top, that's when we know we're in the placement points. So again, a little bit harder. It does mean, though, guys, kills are going to be king on this time. Obviously, like that, PUBG are trying new things. For now, though, we are going to try a new thing. And I think we should throw to a break. When we come back, though, we've got a best of 4. We're going to reset the lobby, bring up a new map, and we'll see you guys in a few.
Every survivor lives for that electrifying moment. One heart-pounding match. One unforgettable thrill. But survival isn't just about one match. It's about how far you'll go, how high you'll climb. Now is the time to discover something bigger about yourself. To turn fleeting moments into a lasting mark. No longer just a moment. It's your legacy.
Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. This year, we're introducing structured competitive play in third-person perspective mode for players of all ranks, levels, and ability. Here's how it works in EMEA and Americas. PUBG Players Tour competition is held in 2-week phases. Each week, you and your squad can compete in player scrims. Think of these as a great alternative to ranked play. Each day of scrims will feature a variety of maps, with defined team and lobby sizes to ensure a balanced best-of-3 rounds. Teams will earn points based on their performance, and daily leaderboards will track their progress. When the scrims are over, the top teams will qualify for the PUBG Players Tour Cups, where they will be joined by up to 10 invited teams, featuring some of the best players in the region. Players' Cup leaderboards will track team performances across 2 days of play, with the top 8 squads progressing to the final round of competition. Players Masters are the pinnacle of the PUBG Players Tournament. 8 teams from each of the 2 cups will engage in fierce competition for a huge prize pool in each region across the PUBG Players Tour season. And for times when a Players Masters isn't scheduled, you can still get your PUBG Players Tour fix with Super Cups. These work just like Masters events, where again, 16 teams, 8 from each of the 2 previous Players Cups, compete for a share of the total cash prize pool. Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. You know the game. Be a player.
Welcome back in, everyone. The best thing about this is the breaks are so short. The players are straight back in the lobby. They want the action. They've got the new patch. Pixel's got to be creative. We saw the first recall coming from Don't Panic. I think you called it right, though. I think it's worth a mention. They were so close to it. They had 2 options. Either go north to Truck Stop, go across to Manias, and then potentially get the recall. They lost 2 bodies. They got the kills. They got themselves back to a 4. Did they get out of it from a Twisted Mind / Foot Esports? Yes, they didn't quite get there at the end, and the Tunnel Fire caused some issues. But actually, we've seen the first team break down the new update.
Super interesting, because we haven't seen a ton of the rest of the stuff, right? We haven't seen somebody with an EMT kit just healing off in like 3 seconds. We haven't seen a BRDM come in, all that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I also don't think we saw a single red zone. So not sure if they're on or not, because they're supposed to be by the patch notes. But it is the bit of magic that you get when you play on patch day, right? Everything is a little unsure and uncertain. But we did get to see the blue chip in action. It did make a difference for them. It got them more points than it would have gotten. And I want to mention one thing. A heck of a lot of players died to blue zone that game. And I talked to Quizzy in the break, and he said, it feels like there's more blue zone damage. We tried to blue heal like we usually do, and it didn't work. So we know that there's a ton of changes coming, but maybe there was a few changes coming that we didn't know about either. So everything is just completely different. Everything is new. Everything is uncharted territory for our players right now.
Nothing wrong with that, and it is patch day. This is the best thing. So if you haven't got the opportunity to be on PUBG, you get to have a look at it here and how it breaks down. But yeah, good game number one. Great circles. Lab for me was a big takeaway. Actually, you'd expect the content creators. Oh my god, they're going against esports teams. They're going to go out. They rotated really well. They held a 2-2 split. They didn't allow them to get pushed by other teams coming in. They pushed teams away. Got knocks on Twisted Minds and got a top 3 position. So that is a big victory for me. Can they do it again? For those who don't know, we are on a best of 4 each day. So we have a best of 8 in total. We've done Miramar. We've done that for today. We are going to now transition in towards Taiga. Again, it's going to be another creative map. Do we see the red zone, the smaller red zones? Do we see the BRDM? Do we get loads of different opportunities? Or do we just see teams sending it to the center and trying to hold up? But it is the Players' Cup. I'm excited for this one. It's one of my favorite maps at the moment. I know I'm going to say it's time to take. I'm going to leave that to you a bit when we get to the plane. But I do think this map's a little bit more creative. And this might be where we do see maybe some of the additional features come into play. Or, more importantly, people have been reminded the recall system's there. And then we might not lose as many people towards those rotations a bit earlier on.
I think it's just a lot. So it's just going to be a bit chaotic for a lot of players. I also just want to... I was watching the delayed stream on my second monitor, and I saw Lou, and there was 15 players alive, and he had a vest and a helmet. And then 5 minutes later, all of that has just been bolted off by the Labs addicts. So the Bolts have worked out that game. They put in work. And yeah, even though they go out very sharply, really, really nice first game from them. We're going to kick it off, though. Game number 2 is on the cards. A plane is in the air. Observer is anxious to show it. And we are sliding into the second map of the night. Like you said, plenty of space on this map to try out all of the new stuff that's coming in. And we have some of the best players in the region, some of the best players in the world even, here to try and make the best out of these new features.
Love it, love it. Northwest down towards the southeast. It does push it more towards that sort of southwest corner, but it does split the north and the south. So obviously, I've seen some of these zones sort of tease us with a slight split. Talking about a slight split, is the Lab split? Slightly looks like they are. They're opting for more of a 4-person corner mode at the moment, as you can see. One's gone for Palace. Corky is potentially playing for Ohang, and then we've kind of got a duo pushing for Bucksang, and like Corky's going Bucksang as well. So a little bit of a split up with the memo there, but good flight path. Interesting to see where this zone sort of goes.
I wonder if they've just gone and said, well, We've figured out how PUBG macro works now. That was easy. What if we try and reinvent it a little bit? And the 3-1 loot spot split comes into play. If it would have gone northwest, they would have had Fuziman there. So I guess not the worst outcome for them. Twisted Mind stretching to the loot spot. Got to be a little bit careful of Skittles here, who are already in cars. I don't think they have weapons yet, so should be all nice and dandy. Then we have a pretty peaceful loot split on the rest of the map. I say that, sorry, I'm crazy has heard that car, and he's looking to hunt. But he has to hit some absolute miracle shots here, and he's got a barrel, not the easiest gun to hit them with. So Fuziman gets out unscathed, at least for now.
Yeah, and I think we questioning whether there's someone here. You'd have a little bit of visibility. I think the logic is not to stop, but how does he piece together the rotation? Bucksang. So don't forget, these guys are content creators. They are very well rehearsed in the game, so expect them to have a safer rotation round. Most of the teams, though, are slightly split. We saw Skittles and Twisted Minds teasing. Oh no, please. I just said that you can rotate your way through, and you're going right through Go Dock, and more importantly, you've got Geekay there. Quizzy reminds him, you can't get away when it comes down to competitive PUBG. You should have gone north. You should have gone north around. You would have danced around GK in Eternal Fire. That's a long arse, though, for the labs to go get that blue chip co.
Gonna need some coaching to come in here. Remind them of the loot spots. Remind them of how to avoid them. Fuziman just sending it on through. He sees a road and he goes for it. I respect it, honestly. But doesn't work out this time. Shaggy from Windstyle, they were in early fights in the last game. They were the team getting just barely beat out by Don't Panic. And they are now setting themselves up for some early frags here. They already got one. And we saw Shaggy there going for the second.
Well, it seems to be a revenge game on the go at the moment. Navi chasing down Eternal Fire, trying to isolate them, but back on the other side of things, though, Skittles does get a confirmation. CCI Next is down. And the first team to be able to get the recoil system back on. Navi unable to stretch and Eternal Fire get away with it slightly. WS, Windstyle. Give it a Windstyle here. Bit of an isolation. Shaggy across the road. One vest, level 1. Helmet. There goes the flash. He's in the car. Blue zone is stacked up. They would have heard that car. They do wrap their way round. A little bit of blue zone damage won't be the case, but he swings right. He gets one. Oh, nearly gets the second as well. But he falls down ultra well. He doesn't want to take any risks. Hands are in hand. And there is a slight bit of revenge. Just T creeping on by.
Similar things over here. Don't Panic get breached by Skittles. Lose one. Try to surround them. Try and cut them out of the zone. Maybe pick up some entries here or there. Off angle from Global Army does the trick for a bit of damage, but nothing permanent just yet. And if you're watching the map stream, I have spotted the first ever red zone. I mean, not first ever. They were in esports like 6 or 7 years ago. But first ever in this decade, I'll say that.
And this TPP, or this series of the Player Cup. It is a little bit further afield, so it's just finding a zero in its way in. It's getting the chronometry ready to roll. Don't panic though, just the outside of Skittles. This is on the outside edge. It's phase number 1. So 16 teams remaining, but we have lost a few bodies already. So Blimey, just using the ridge now, just to scout. The smoke will be denying a lot of the information, so they are just pausing at the moment. And as you remember before, they have really lost a body as well. CCI Next is down. They've got to be cautious. They've got to understand how they kind of breach in here, but there's no rush just yet. No third party. And the labs, well, they've looted. They've called in the red zone, and it's landed right on top of them. The second one, well, it finds a zeroed in for a team. It's forced the labs to lose and move out of their initial position.
Oh, I love watching them as well. I love watching 4 good players try and figure out PUBG Esports, right? They go into this relatively unprepared, and they're just, okay, so we go out of Buksansa, but like, we're almost kind of middle of the zone now, so what exactly do we do? It's so cool to watch them. They're kind of just figuring out on the fly, and it's a bit fun to watch. Foot Esports, opposite of that. This is business as usual for them. They are the Yongchong Bullies. This is their home ground, and they won't give it up. Don't Panic is opening up with nades now. Wow. That's looking good. He has a second one, or any sort of util to follow that up. That could be danger, but it doesn't look like it.
No, Western needs to fall. They're blind. Finding a little bit of cover, and the hold does happen, but it's an exchange down to a single player now. He's going to charge his way through. Cook the nade. Half cook. Let's go over towards the top. Obviously, the confirmation as he peeked his way around. Has the opportunity potentially to res. Scar in hand. He's just using the ability just to look over the hill. So exchange over of the reses here. Skittles be able to get one back. They've got the confirmation on the other side, but don't panic. We know they can hold out as a duo here. Here comes the flash. Needs to get a med back on, but the charge from Skittles Co is underway.
Another good bit of shots. Global Army out. Too many to deal with, but they offer themselves up. That's a knock, and that's a confirm as well. That's going to sting a little bit, but not as much as it usually would, because we do have the blue chips, and it's Kangnung, where you can activate yours. So very, very close by. And there's already another one coming in as well. Look at that. There's already somebody parachuting in who got himself a blue res, a blue chip res. So that is coming into full effect very fast. That's not taking a lot of time to adapt. The new point formats also not taking entire teams a lot of time to adapt. Everybody is going for the kills, Mark.
Get out the car, it's going to explode. Oh, he gets caught. Free side, though, on the other side. LV, final player for them. We have to try and work on the angles. Sound crazy. Move to the higher position. The spray will come through. Doesn't quite get the connection. You think he falls up the knock, though. He's down to 1 AP. He's going to take the opportunity now to res. Has to reposition. Does get a great shot, but Sound crazy. Pops back over the top. And we lose another one. LV will fall down. Free side. Should be able to get these reses. And you're right. We've already seen Skittles move back to get that recall back into play. They've got 44 seconds left on the clock, so a great time for them. They should be able to reposition their way back into zone, back on this northeast corner. Twisted Minds have been kind of lurking, and you've got members on the map. You see the kind of those recall systems sort of pulsing away, don't you? So that's going to give away information, especially to a team like Twisted Minds that are close to them. Be very wary of a team pushing in or how they move in on this east.
And again, just also try and camp it out, right? Because there is a player that has to parachute down. He has to get his loot back up. He comes into the game fully unequipped. That is something that you can try and lean on. That's something you can try and punish. Yep. So that's why they're getting a little bit interested there for Twisted Minds. Batu, he might also just be in a glider. I'm not quite sure. Maybe that's why he's so far out. He is in the area now. Wild Division, they have been singled out by Foot. Foot's already taken out 2, and they've probably realized, hey, might just be the other 2. We're going to hunt them down. We're going to close this out. Kill points are massive, and that's a single fire off. That shouldn't be one, but he gets it anyways. He makes things hard for Foot.
Oh my god, he swings round, nearly gets the second though. Chewy's further afield. Final player now for Wild Division. A little bit on the wild side. Pixel, Bailey Life. He's going to try and get the anger here. Chewy puts the smoke forward. It's going to give him the opportunity. If he does go for the car and it sort of works its way up, it's going to be losing the power, so losing the momentum. That smoke might be able to provide him a bit more cover. Might just be the cover he needs. He does back away. Wild Division might give this one up. They're not going to make the push. I was saying that he has made the turn. He's using the compound now as cover. Working his way around the other side, but it's allowed for Esports to get the res. They're back to a 3. It's a 3-on-1. Chewy is making the push forward here. Looks like T-Bone has spotted him. He's going to go for the pre-fires. He repositions just on the outside.
Good nade comes out. Pixel is there to close it. And Foot get themselves the wipe. First 3 points on the board. The question is, did they get the blue chip for their earlier player, right? Because they could get that now in Palace, maybe. Could get that player back on his feet. But also, putting the loot in a car is an option, right? To get that player the loot he needs. But it takes a while to set everything up and get ready. And then they would have to go for, I think, yeah, like the Palace Blue Zone chip, which is also in the blue now. So they're going to be putting a lot of time into getting that player back. They're going to have to make the call if that's worth it at all. And, well, we will see what the decision ends up being.
Have to wait and see. For now, free side coming in on the sort of west. Esports do have that north. They do have that Palace rotation through, and we are seeing T-Bone making that rotation now on the map feed. Free side said they are coming in from the swamp. They are coming in on the west, but we do have teams sort of already held up. Storm Request, we know they're good for kills. The team that kind of consistently were finding their way into these top lobbies, so name to keep an eye on. These teams are here. This is kind of a BB zone for me. They sort of loot down this sort of southwest side, and zones play back their way. I do fear if we see a Hosan, if we play back to the city as you alluded, do we get the heavy utility use a bit later. But for now, I'll wait and see.
Good shots coming out. Sorry, I'm crazy. He's the one who gets himself nailed, though. Might have to put that one in the car. Probably not, though, because their back is clear, so should be a straightforward res. They are on the receiving end of the pressure here. Labs, they're still bolting. Corky is still doing Corky things. And he's looking to connect another one, but he's got to get the first aid off. Is that man playing mini bolts? What an absolute mad lad. With that outfit as well. Oh, man. Love to see it. But it's skills on the other side. They nail both angles. They pre-fire next to the tree because they know he's going to be somewhere. And they do find the knock. And you get a knock from Skittles, they are looking to engage.
So difficult as well where labs are, right? The tree covers are falsified. You think you're safe, but actually Skittles have better line of sight. So they are working well. This is kind of the Bumblebee side of zone. Both Skittles and Lab using the skins to their advantage, but they have taken a position. Another knock comes in. He goes down. It's down to a duo here, but they are split. I'm pretty sure Corky has been spotted. Here comes the shots. He does go down. Final player for Labs, though. Working away towards Bucksang. Can they find safety? The angles. They're going to put each other to the top. They swing, and they're going to get caught completely running in the open. Labs will fall. It's not as strong as the first game. 13th place for them. And Skittles, well, they find themselves on an early 7 kills. We said that kills could be king. Phase number 2, you're going to take 7 points already.
Just to hammer that message in, right? They have won almost 1.5 games just in this round, right? 7 points, 5 for a win. This is massive. You can't overstate how big that change in the point system actually is for the game. It's a completely different game you're playing. Everything you care about is kills. And then, yes, you care a little bit about the win. You care a little bit about placements. But you mainly care about placements because they do give you more chances to get more kills. So it's a complete momentum shift. It's a complete game changer. And if you're looking at that minimap, I'm feeling like Foot's already activating to that. Look where Scav is. Look what information he's getting the rest of the team. He's telling them there's a rotation coming their way, and they are looking to punish.
And guess what? Means he's just got his way back. He's just been recalled back in. And hey, Hosan, we're better to get some loot. It looks like he might even go a bit further. Maybe they do have the vehicle on that north side. Maybe they stop one off there for him. Looks like the guys are going for a full stand. BB team on the way in. Storm request here. Foot do find themselves also in Ho-San. Some players are working their way down. Twisted Minds on the adjacent side. They're taking a couple of shots now. The guys rotating by. Scav down to 1 HP. He gets caught on the rotation in. And T-Bone well initiates though. His free side. Don't get quite a free side. They're going between a sandwich. And his Pixel, big belly life though finds the confirm. He's got the pans on his back. Lo and behold, it's going to be the West Australian. He just drops it. Not going anymore. On free side, get caught. Another one. Nade will go out. Be down towards BB team. Oh, well placed car. Stops the flush at least. It'll be a bit hectic, let alone the red zone now, Koho.
Yeah, I was about to say. There is most definitely red zones in this. I don't think we had one on Miramar. Maybe I'm just blind and old, but we did have plenty of them here already. And Foot has to be a little careful now. They want to get these pushes. They want to get these knocks confirmed. But they probably also don't know that Maver's already so far back, right? They don't know he's disengaged so far. Scav finds Besto. That's a new team. I'm going to say, oh, okay. So BB is here as well. And Foot is back up to 4 as well.
Oh my God. Do you know who I feel for? The observers. Like, where do you watch? Can you see you see him coming down? Who do you catch? Who's in safety? T-Bone holding the angle. BB team. We'll see if they didn't see the rotation in. They Footy Sports now know. So the free side. Still more action happening now on the outside. Skills. So they're already on 7 kills, looking to try and find some more. They're applying some pressure here. The Mad been spotted. Nade goes over the top, down to 1. Second one should do the damage. No, it bounces a bit too far. The third one, we're hit. Sloy. Well, he finds the Mad. Now comes the push. Where have the Skittles been? They have wiped out for game number 1. They've reset, and it's come back super aggressive here. They're eager to get those points underneath their belt, but they've lost 2 in the push. They need to get the conversion. The Eternal Fire, well, the team we know, they do not fold under pressure.
And they're a team that's good at fighting as well, right? You can't take that away from them. They're looking good in numbers right now. They're looking good position-wise because they're not stuck in the blue. They're not taking this damage constantly, ticking away at their HP bars. They're looking like the favorites to come out of this one. They want to come out of this one unscathed, but that might be a little bit of the PUBG Esports reflexes coming in. It's not that important anymore. The more important thing is that you win the fight. Blue Chips might do the trick later on. Just like that. Good nade. They bring it down to a solo in RTQ mode. He has barely any HP on the car either, but he says, I gotta get away from this.
He has to get away from it. But getting caught though on those rotations away. WS here. Someone request taking the third party zone does shift away outside of Hosan, so we push back towards that east. So Foot Esports, BB team, they all now to move. Someone request move their way, and EK looking to get involved as well. Petunians gets a knock on eternal fire. So a doozy. Catch one of the guys. This is chaotic, and Twisted Minds and Navi kept cool, calm, and collected, wanted nothing to do with Hosan, and as a result, find themselves in a good placement for zone.
Someone Crest, meanwhile, trying to hold on to dear life, and the nades like that, right on your doorstep. GK is making the entry look easy. They found everybody that's here. Nosferatu further off in the city, can't help at all. GK will go for the flushes when they have to, but looking a little hesitant right now. Maybe they don't want to get naded back. Maybe they just want to stay safe from BB, the threat that's lurking on further afield. But they are taking their time with it. Oh, that's why. Okay, okay. Quizzy's found a bit of a new tool.
Kadoosh!
And he puts it to use. Instant 2 confirms. If there would have been a third player there, would have done the trick as well, but regardless, 2 flushes right there and then.
Hey, bring me all the updates. We're on up number 2. Where's the BRDM? Bring it on. You hear a flag off. I mean, I've not quite seen it yet, but we'll wait and see where that lands and what it's going to produce. For now, GK find the high ground. They've applied the pressure on the southwest corner now, but they do see WS. Let's get the initial connection. Has to take to the dirt. But unable. PWD. We actually changed his name now to PDW, which is going to be a little bit of a while to reset. Trolling me. I know he is. But he's got the high ground. He doesn't have quite the zone now. He's got the information. GK, well, they can reposition. They have a mortar set up as well. They'll be looking to try and use that mortar to the advantage. On the free side, take the rotation to a very, very dangerous spot. And with BB team right below them, they're going into the hands of GK.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Yeah, you can come back into the game, but at what cost and what possibilities do you still have? I'm not sure how good this is. I'm not sure how good this is, Mark. Kills are worth double, and you're just 2 players just prone in the field without guns now, so if any freer kills exist, I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know when. Diffix already picks up the first. He's looking for the second as well. He wants to just rack these points up right now.
This is the advantage with the recoil system, right? And this, again, plays into low placement points, high kills. If teams keep recalling, up until obviously when the points are coming up 2 zones before we can, but if they keep recalling in, right, there's still opportunities for some of these teams to run away with it. It's got to be a factor late game. Like, do you actually bring someone back? Well, there's another 2 kills there. 9 here for GK. A nice position as well. For Esports trying to figure out where they want to try and play from. BB team, what they can clear up. Last team to leave Hosan. Now they're going to move into kind of a bit of a sandwich between Foot Esports and GK. Just see which way they rotate out.
Vectix lines him up. Surely putting the first one down here. Damage is done, but he takes it quite a bit in return. He's lucky that the card's bouncing like that. It buys him some time, but still taken out in the end. Blue trying to support. Battle from afar. It's absolute mess for both of these teams right now. Neither of them want to lose players here. All of them want to stay clean. Twist looking a little bit more composed, but they have now lost that compound, right? They now have lost the inside position to Eternal Fire. With Batu getting knocked from afar, this ain't looking too good for them either.
Not looking too good. For example, that's PDW. Kill confirmed that on the board. Have to reposition if they want to try and get the reses back on. Phase number 5 is working its way in. Has to opportunity now to put into the back of the car and move a bit further afield though. As Fire has wrapped around the other side, back towards the fighters. BB team have worked their way out, and I said they find themselves in a little bit of a position between Foot Esports and PK. They've taken the first kill with Foot Esports. T-Bone trying to find a little bit of hard cover. Well, he does the jump, try and gather the information, but Navi has got the free part of this here. They can just sit on the hill here, go. They can just provide cover and fire down. There's any knocks. I'd be too surprised to see Navi get some kills. Scrap that. Extends is going full send. Gets Ainsley. Kill confirm on the board for Navi. They're down to 1 player here for Foot Esports.
They ain't looking good, but it is 3 gear to work with. and a bazillion smokes around him. Look at the amount of expired smokes around this compound. Looks like the expired smoke symbol is lingering around for a bit longer than we maybe would have wanted to, but there has been a lot of smokes deployed just on this warehouse. And T-Bone snuck himself into a cubby. Gonna try to live for as long as he can. Gets spotted in the crack.
Wow.
What? That's crazy from Molodok.
That is insane to see the player. T-Bone thought he was safe and got shot. The doozy will not want to risk it. Does catch him.
That's nuts.
That is insane.
He's got a ghillie on as well. He's not wearing a bright pink outfit here, right? That's sticking out. He's got a ghillie on.
Insane. Speedy reaction. He came around the corner. He didn't have time to set it up. He just saw it. God mode enabled. EK. They've been on the edge of that third party. They've kept themselves at a bay. I think it might be part and parcel because Na'Vi taking some shots, not just one. Actually, seconds come through and a doozy will get the bolty action. Spyro goes down. The big final player, though, for them. No vest. Lay low. Na'Vi, again, with a high ground. Provides an element of suppressive fire. EK can't move, and BB, they've got to look at the opportunity. How do they get out of here? How do they move in? Well, maybe an initial knock will help.
It just might. Nakatori's got a prone, got to survive. More damage comes into his teammates, but with no knocks, nothing permanent is really being dealt here. That being said, now Ferris falls down. There is an opening, there is a chance. There's still Extens with a P90 mark on that close range angle. If they don't nade him out, if they don't flash him out, I don't really see this working for BB any sort of way. Twist is still brawling with Eternal Fire on the other side. This map is going to blow up into just 2-3 teams in a matter of seconds here.
It is. They kick Monster Molly forward. Fire. Will hold him. Repositioning now, but gets caught from the outside. Actually swings a few shots back. Does get a connection. Lou goes down. Doesn't want to overrush it. Doesn't want to try and stretch and get a confirmation, but it's not going to be the case anyway. Befectix doubles down. Eternal Fire going to fall. 5th place for them. Now we're in the placement points here. Top 4 remain. Na'Vi making the push towards BB team. Got caught on the rotation out, so Steed's going to be there. Hakatori provide cover on the other side. He actually does get him. He actually cuts him out. BB team, well, they're going to take the first placement points here. They go down in 4th. Just in mind, still got the numbers here. 4 remaining for them, go.
Incredible. Incredible. This is something I wanted to talk about earlier. It's become a bit less important now with the blue chip recall, but coming out of fights cleanly is such a massive skill, right? Making sure that when you get knocked, you're in a position where you can get rezzed, and minimizing the amount of times you get knocked is so huge. They do that to a great extent here. GK now have suffered some casualties. They still want this fight. They still want this edge, and they still want to punish Twist once they come out of the compound. But it won't be easy, especially once Na'Vi takes control here. Once Na'Vi realizes, hey, we have a bit of space here. We have the entire zone. We should probably be winning this game here if you guys are blasting off at each other at the edge of the zone. So it's going to make it very hard for GK to really do anything here once they get spotted.
Yeah. Right. They find themselves at the base of the drops as well. Spyro has the opportunity. As long as he doesn't get flattened by one, he needs to look up. But once it lands, he should have the ability to maybe restock. Especially if it comes down to vest, new helmet maybe. Maybe you can find a big crate weapon at the end. It's close. But he's should be alright. You can be tempted to try and make the move for it. Maybe the suppressor, maybe the shot's not going to help as best as he wants. Maybe a vest and helmet might be the key things. But for now, they sit, they wait, they don't overextend. They're playing cool, calm, and collective and waiting for the powerhouses that are twisting mind the Na'Vi to erupt. And don't be too surprised to see kind of Diffix, Spyro try and take a third-party action after.
Twist doesn't want to take a risk, though. They don't want to walk out on this. They want to make a big move, and they're making a big move to the other side of the circle. Big Honks coming out as well to show a bit of dominance. They're cruising right into Na'Vi. They're cruising into Saucet for now. He's getting the pre-nade out. He's getting it around the corner. He doesn't find anything, but Hakatori is there, and Saucet finds a double. That is sexy stuff.
Oh.
Na'Vi instantly putting Twist down to 1. His Batulin's around the rock, but Hakatori's got to be careful. He's running this down as a solo. Batu's going to have the first aid off. It's Hakatori. all the way.
Good run from Geeke. They're activated. Have they got enough time? They have turns. They are trying to hold. Technically 2 versus 2 here. Spirit. He's looking. He's got the nades. Going to try and get the launch. He's actually dropped one here for Diffix. A double nade going to be coming straight out. Instead of launching one, waiting for it. The second one goes through. Doesn't quite get the connection, the confirmation. But it does maybe mean they are going to get at least one of Na'Vi players out. He'll be going towards Twisted Minds. And then he comes over the top first. We'll try and hold. Does get a connection though with Diffix. He follows with the molly. But he hasn't exposed too much. Ah, scrap that. Na'Vi do get the res back in. That means it's a 3 versus 2.
Circle shifts on in. This is what phase 8 does. It doesn't hard shift to either of the sides. It just closes out a bit of playing space. 9 on Geeke is big here already. I'm just going to emphasize the same point I made earlier. That's almost 2 wins.
Fake card.
That's almost 2 wins already in the pocket. Diffix now caught out of position here actually. Susset has a great angle on him with that ridge, but he's taking a bit of damage. So he's got to slow it down first, get that heal off. And once he does get on that rock, I think it's game over for Diffix. He's just got to get up, but he doesn't want to expose himself too much.
He doesn't. He's just doing put-ups. He's just leveling up the muscle ability. Now he jumps over the top, though. Could be cautious because he hasn't got the vest. Diffix, level 3, yeah.
Uh-oh.
He puts 1, puts 2 down. Oh, my God. It's turning towards the other side. Diffix, though, manhandling his old team. Right, over the top. They've got to try and be very cautious here. Ferris is not going to be able to clean it up. It goes down. Diffix take apart Na'Vi at the end. It's 12 kills under from actually an end game that looked not in their favor. They were down not just vest, not a helmet. They were down position. They had to wait. The horns of Twisted Minds played towards the north. Yeah, Na'Vi done really well on the defensive side. But you know what? Geeke closed the gap. And then they were able to reset. And love actually how they closed it out. Big play there from Diffix.
Big play from Diffix, big 1v1 that he has no business winning, right? The pre-fire just hits perfectly. And when you watch Geeke a little bit in the past tournaments, they had to play one of the tournaments with their coach, and they said, it's just so hard to play without your star player. Diffix is that star player, and he just won the game for them. He just made a massive difference there, right? That's another 3 points you're picking up for the frags. It's another 2 points for placements. Big difference maker there. Big stuff from Geeke. They're a force to be reckoned with. We knew that coming into this tournament, and I love to see them prove it.
I think you're right, though. He stole that victory. Stole the victory blind away from his old team, right, as well. They had the high ground. They had the position. They defended off the Twisted Minds. They had time to reset as well. They survived and got the res from the push that came in from Geeke. But it wasn't going to be the case. Lots of interesting action, though, for me on this one. Obviously, a lot of red zone. Obviously making up though after game number 1. Recall system came into effect. We saw that play again. So again, we're seeing teams starting to use it a lot more. When it came down to it, it came down to the depth of knowledge and the breakdown. Actually, said Na'Vi, good hold. This is great though. Great nade came out. Swings for 1, looking for the second as well. Not quite getting on the connections they wanted to be, but not too bad when it comes down to the end. Love that, even surprised. And do you know what? Diffix was so powerful. He broke the replay system in the end.
It was too good. Can't show that. Can't show that on the cameras. But it's going to be super interesting to see what's going on once we do get a scoreboard together. Bear with us, guys. We will get you a scoreboard towards the end of the day for sure. Maybe after this match, we'll see. Everything is kind of still in the works because this is a completely new point system, and everybody's been grinding behind the scenes to get it going. But what we can always get going is more PUBG, right, Mark? So we have 2 more games. And when we come back from the break, we'll bring you the next map of the Player Cup.
Updates to ranked mode. Some gunplay adjustments. The return of the black market. And a little boom boom while you zoom. All this and more as we dive into the update 36.1 patch report. First up, ranked mode is getting some major changes for Season 36. Ranks now feature 2 new tiers. Crystal between Platinum and Diamond, and Survivor tier for those who can manage to push themselves beyond Master. Ranked Duo mode is being added, while tiers and RP have been unified across party types and perspectives. Because of this, everyone's RP will be reset this season back down to 1500. And ranked playpoint rewards have been improved. So drop in, rank up, and collect your new rewards. In addition, we're also unifying your Battlegrounds experience between ranked and normal matches. This means you'll see the recall system, red zone, BRDM, and items like the zipline gun and C4 in ranked. These are big changes to how ranked works. Be sure to let us know your feedback. Next up, we've got a couple of weapon adjustments coming your way. We've cut down the AUG's aim punch by roughly 50% and slightly reduced its damage, while the VSS and muzzle brake have been buffed. We'll be launching Gunplay Lab's DMR rebalance soon to test the reduced RPM and damage for DMRs. This DMR rebalance aims to strengthen the unique characteristic of DMRs and better differentiate them from SRs. So make sure you drop in and let us know your thoughts. PUBG's annual superstore, the Black Market, is making its return this update. Pick up a new Crafter Pass along with 4 classic progressive weapon skins and 6 chromas. Check out the upcoming Black Market announcement for all the details on how to grab these fan-favorite skins. We've also rebalanced the red zone a bit and added vending machines and destructible pots to Vikendi. And speaking of destruction, players can now toss throwables while driving and use handguns from the driver's seat in Watercraft, just in case you needed to add a little more rage to your road. There's a lot to dive into, so be sure to check out the patch notes for full details on everything. Update 36.1 is here, so stop by the Black Market, brush up on your ranked skills, and toss more out your window than dirty looks. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Well, we're over the halfway point now. 2 rounds done. We've got 2 more maps coming out soon to a rondo before we go back to the old school. It's a wrangle. It's been interesting. I feel like every map's been slightly different. Yes, we've got the new patch. We're talking about this a lot. But we're already seeing a change in these teams. We're seeing how they're adapting to the play style and actually how they can use some of the new gift, shall we say, because we saw C4 kill though in the last round. What's map number 3 going to bring? Well, we're going to have to wait and see for that one.
Not the biggest amount of impact from that C4, right? It's just 2 flushes that he could have gotten. But if there was more players there, then it's sort of like a massive blue zone grenade in that sense, right? Like knocked players, they're never gonna live it, and you can't get a res anywhere close to it. So it has a similar effect there. The biggest impact we're seeing right now, in my opinion, is just the point system. Everybody is just going and going and going and going for these kills. It's absolute carnage. And we have 2 more maps of that carnage for you guys. So I think we have a plane in the air. We have a rondo kicking off. So let's try and make you wait not that much longer. We're preparing a leaderboard for you guys, just so you know what's going on behind the scenes. But we should jump into the rondo first.
Yeah, and look, it just re-emphasizes the points, right? You got to remember, with half the amount of winnable points from a top 8 to a top 4, and obviously from a 10 to a 5, it just re-emphasizes how important kills are going to be. Teams are going to have to try and chase down these kills. They're going to have to try and get those confirmations. That's maybe where we see the C4. Don't waste any time clearing out the flushes you've already got. Just throw a C4 in the building and send it on into zone. There's more points to be had. Plus the recall, don't forget, right? Players are coming back. More potential for kills are going to be available. Well, I'll tell you what's available here. We had a southwest up towards the northeast, but we have a potential though with the labs taking on Storm underneath the lights of Stadium.
Straight into a hot drop for the lab addicts. It's a bit of a soft hot drop. It's a lukewarm drop. It's something.
It's a TPP special.
Yeah, but they're also so separated, right? They're kind of split in this. They're not really going ham at it right now. And they should have some cars on the south here as well if they want to. So seeing that the zone's far away, they might disengage to that rather quickly. But again, they're a bit of an unknown quantity, right? And we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. You mentioned the blue zone recall positions earlier, right? I feel like some compounds are slightly more interesting to hold in splits now, right? If you're splitting a compound, one of the 2 of your splits has a recall center, makes it a little bit more attractive, makes it a little bit more beneficial if you're getting breached, right? If you're losing players early. Opens up a few new choices there, and I see a lot on Rondo already that I think are super open right?
Yeah,
And
look
it's
at
going to
that
be
one there.
super hard to use. That one next to Foot down there in the south,
Yeah.
between Tinlong Garden and Foot, that's going to be hard to pull off in an esports lobby.
But you're right. Do they go for a 2-2? Because there's an advantage. Yes, it's a defensive mindset, right? If we lose players, we've got the recall system. If we hold the breach, we've got a recall system. Like, okay, you maybe the one that's north of Tinglong Garden is not the best example, but when we see them in the zones, Yuling, we less obviously not in the lobby, but we look at VP. VP will drop there. They can hold that. They've got the ability, if they lose anyone off a hot drop that we've seen them lose before, they had the opportunity to go and actually get those bodies back. For Esports, obviously with the early rotation, they get to deal the damage though when it comes down to Skittles as they do crash their way in. Scav gets one, T-Bone gets the adjacent as well. And Skittles, well, they're getting sent packing the other way as well. So we've already seen that again. We've seen it now. There's no script, guys. Footy Sports to go back to their kind of hold where they have the recall system in that north sort of east side of this zone. And Pixel World will try and lock it down. I think there's a lot more to be said here when it comes down to this. I do generally think actually teams might look at these positions as stronger than locations they might have gone to before.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's just going to change up the understanding of the map a bit. And I think especially in 2-2 splits, because it's a position you can go back to, right? If you're just staying 4-man in that position, you're not expecting to lose players. But if you are splitting it, you lose players elsewhere, you maybe get breached in the other compound, lose someone there, something like that. That's where it gets most interesting. It will have the most use, I think. And then just figuring out, oh, hey, wait, like we lost one earlier, and there is this tower right next to us. So the unplanned recalls are going to be a big thing as well, I think, because you can't just always throw away your position just to be close to a recall tower. That's not how it works.
True. We'll wait and see. Well, nice new skins obviously coming today. Obviously with Update Day comes with its added benefits and features, and one of the new things from the observer point of view. So I'll give them big kudos for them. Obviously, we're making things work a very late minute. As Kai said, we are looking to get leaderboard sorted for you guys, and we'll bring that hopefully after this game, so we get an idea actually how much of an impact those kills have made for some of these teams that might not have got the win, actually have come into a late game with a lot of kills on the board. A couple of early deaths now. I'm just going to go reposition. All of this stuff has been on rotation though. Beautiful couple of shots towards Storm on request. So not quite the hot drop, but they do whistle past each other, making their way now south towards zone.
Stormcrest is a team that I've just almost glanced over a little bit after their
100%.
first game. They fragged the hell out, and I wasn't really aware of it or forgot about it very quickly, but they have gotten themselves a huge amount of kills, and that is what counts, right? That is what makes points move. Now they are under fire. They're cruising through uncharted territory. And sorry, I'm crazy. Finds a nice connection. First one out, Nosferatu. Knocked and flushed. And we can talk about blue zone recalls all we want, but so many of the kills are going to be like this, where you just have no chance to recall ever.
Yeah. Unless you put the blue zone in your backpack and bring it closer towards zone. And you get to follow their little blip on the map. But that would be really counterproductive, especially in the tournament format, giving away the known location. Just in mind, there's a known location for them, as they do working towards centre. You're going to find a few sort of dips and crevices around here. They're going to be looking in to where their next position is. There is some high grounds here. We're going to have to obviously see how that plays. We do have some water in the southwest corner. Does that sort of take effect early game? Do we see more of a south shift? For now, individual teams seem to be losing bodies. Scrap that. We lost our whole team well outside of zone here, Koho. And NLV, desperate need of points, just back themselves 3.
Just like that. 3 points in the bag, all you ever need to get yourself back on your feet. That rhymes. I'm a rapper, what can I say? Next fight on the cards, though. Don't panic. Find themselves a little bit surrounded here, Mark. But they have found the entry.
I can't wait for Koho's mixtape. T-Bone closes the door, denies the initial shots, plays peekaboo, comes back out, catches the player as he desperately comes in. Free kill, but it's 2 here for T-Bone. Good grab, holding the compound. They were there quite early. They still remain. Still on a 2-2 split as well. That's to be said. But then Penny can take the command just quickly before WS. They're wild side their way past in towards safety. Again, no gliders that I've seen just yet. There have been teams around the outside edge, but no one's really kind of made that position at play to go take it. I don't think it'd be the case. I kind of expect the PWD still on the outside, very much in the east, to catch one. But look at that, win side. Well, win in style. Peekaboo over the top, catches one. Blue Zone Nade's going to cause some damage, but they're going to need more than just a one Blue Zone Nade.
Do they, though?
I don't know. Yeah, he hasn't picked him up, has he? Oh, he gets it just in time. What's that, half a second before? That could have been a completely different outcome.
Yeah. Should have just launched a C4 at them somehow, you know? Send a car in with a C4. That would have done the trick. Weston gets himself knocked immediately again, though. Not quite out of the woods just yet, but Windstyle has disengaged, so they should be able to get the res, get the reset, get back on their feet, continue playing out the game from here. Should be just fine. Should be just okay.
Should be okay for now. Yay! There's a little leaderboard for you guys and girls out there. So we will bring it to you back during the break, but just obviously taking note. EK obviously got themselves to win. High amounts of kills. They find themselves at top. 6 in the first, 17 in the second. Just a mind Star in the second, so no move from them. Storm Request were in first spot, but they unfortunately didn't get the same level of points they did in game number 1, so they will fall to third, but not a bad start for them. As you said, they've got under the radar, but the Storm is still lurking.
Yeah, big frags to put them at the top, and no surprise to see GK without win, without clutch at the top. Twisted Minds as well, 2 solid games for them, right? Twisted Minds on a win and a third place. No surprise to see them at the top, but outplaced by a higher fragging team. That is the new scoring system coming in hot, changing the dynamics of the game. And it is happening this game again. Teams are so aggressive, so early, Mark.
Yeah. I don't think we can say anymore, right? Points are double. They literally double. Not double in points, right? It's still 1 point, but team like Storm Request hasn't got the win, but they found themselves top of the leaderboard though after game number 1. Continue to do that. Changes the lay of the land. We'll talk about the lay of the land. It does bounce back more of a donut as it centers up here. We're starting to lose some of that high ground. We still have a little bit in that north here. It's Tunnel Fire. Got the emergency pick up as they rotate through the middle. Interesting, they haven't sort of jumped back and gone back the way they came. They are rotating cars just underneath, and Pekka kind of using it as a bit more of a scouting tool. Esports do collapse their 2-2 splits. He does pay off, and they find themselves in a good position now for center zone. How many more kills will they get? How many more teams will send their way? A few more still need to rotate their way in.
It's a breach though. Navi, they've been breaching time and time again. This time they are on the other side of the end. Look in, like Twist is using the power numbers here. They want to close this out fast, but Example already knocked, already flushed. Finally, the trade comes out. It's messy for Twist. It's taken forever. Perfectix needs Batulins. And Navi is looking to make short work of this.
I think it's the player on the outside, the one for Navi a little bit further. Hakatori, as he works his way back in now. They couldn't really wrap around this sort of north side. They really pinched him in. Nade went through, Batulins went running in. Perfectix is going to be the final player now. You can see, he's waiting, he's watching, smokes around the outside. He's just trying to figure out exactly where he is. The nade will be a slight giveaway. Then the second nade comes through. The first one hits the impact here. And it's actually Hakatori chipping away at the corner. Does find him. Twisted Minds, yeah, the breach didn't quite work in their favour. Alvi lives to fight another day.
Well thought of. They'll only get 3 points here because Twisted Minds do deny a point there with the self-nade. But that is, well, that is from brilliance in the last two to a bit of a rough one here for Twist. You can tell they're trying to feel this out still as well, right? They see a duo and they breach on in because they realize points are very kill-based. Let's get on in. Let's get the fight going. And very quickly that backfires because aggressive fights aren't that easy sometimes. A team that knows what they're doing, a team that has a good setup for your breach can knock you on your feet real quick.
But this is why I like it. This is why I like it. PUBG are forcing the hand. They're like, hey, halving your points to see if you survive out to the end game. And players at the moment are playing into be aggressive, try and take it, but you're right, it goes either way. TCI next, well, he wiggled left and right, and he's able to get one, looking for the second bit. He gets caught, though. The rest of Don't Panic can't quite see. The ridgeline's not helping out. Global Army is going to try and reposition here. So Dick's going to be down. Western now in the car, making the push that way. Here comes more an aggressive stance, though. There's a confirmation, but it doesn't matter. They do have the recall system, but they've got one body down. They're trying to take advantage. The seat swap comes in for Global Army, waiting for the exposed, but he's tucking in behind the vehicle to perfection and shows Global Army zero opportunity.
Doesn't give him a chance. Doesn't risk anything just yet. MP5 rings out. Not the weapon of choice, but you'll take what you're given. Global Army, he's on the pull-up, but he's got an EMP zoned. He can't even keep on moving in that car. He's stuck. It doesn't matter. He's got them all on his plate. He just has to knock him down. It's easier said than done. Smokes himself out. Weston's got no HP, no cover. Wants to get the hell away from it. Does not manage. It's an absolute disaster for Don't Panic.
Global Army, he's just shy of 1 shot for 2 so far. He's on the outside. He's got to wait for the EMP now to clear. LV still trying to hold strong. They have got the res back in, and it is down to 1 final player. There's the clear. There's the smoke. Global Army going to take the opportunity now to try and back away towards the north. The zone shift back down to the south. Shang is where it would go. BB's home turf. Gone a little bit more north here, so they do take the compound a bit further afield. This is going to be difficult. Here comes the recall. Navi, bodies in the sky. They're going to try and get back, at least to try and hold. And it comes back to that big question here, Koa. Where did they get the gear?
Saucer's waiting for him. Saucer's waiting for him in the compound. Wants to get him back in. Get him looted up. Suited up and ready to go. And this is a bit of a test. A bit of a learning for us as well, right? It was watching. Okay, you can't get away with parachuting over a team because you do have a lot of elevation, right? So unless somebody nails some absolutely insane shots, you should be okay. That being said, this is not an EP parachute, right? Where you're coming in with full gear. You're completely naked. So a bolt shot to the body does the trick. 1 tap. You're a lot more vulnerable than you would otherwise be. But yeah, dead bodies, you're getting juiced up real quick.
They've positioned exactly everything into 1 spot for him. Extend to land here, get the gear you need, reset yourself. Now, you're not going to have a car because I'm going to leave with it, so you've got no hope of running yourself in for now, but he's able at least to get back 4 meds, 6 boosts. It's not enough. It's phase number 3. Navi have positioned himself in sort of that southeast corner as well, so they're going to be happy. It's already striving forwards. So you now have positioning in front. Be cautious though, but on the other side of things, well, the powerhouse at Diffix, you say the MP5. It's not maybe the gun of choice one. It seems to be the gun of choice here for Diffix. It's got the first kill on the board for it.
With an SMG again. MP5 this time. Suppressed.
Love it.
Now, PUDWWWW. Looking on the other angle. Hopefully he renames back soon. This is...
It's great. It's crazy, isn't it? It feels weird.
Yeah, it sounds wrong, and it's so much harder to say as well. PUDD, you know, that goes off the tongue really quickly. Hoping he gets back to his roots at some point. We're talking about names. Next time we see Twist in the lobby, all right? Have a good look at Perfectix. Just have a good look at the name. You might find yourself surprised there as well.
It's perfect. Here comes the zone shift. Goes back towards Esports again. Blessed with zone. Scout pushing the way out slightly. Let's get the wall full. First place for them. He's trying to take advantage as well. They're on the roofs here, so that's number 3 now for Esports. Storm request going back towards the north, getting caught slightly on that rotation. Maybe with the expectation that it's going to bounce away from the high ground a little bit further. With the case though this time. Navi, well, don't waste any time. Straight run over, straight flatten. And their labs, well, chasing down the kills. Get chased around the rock. Gonna lose 1 here. Man, I get a little bit of visualization, but it's not going to be the case just yet. Need to keep that car alive, and they back away, Coro.
Not looking hot right now. Dano caught. Bit alone there. Corky gets the folded shield up, gets the bolt out, looking if he can connect, but they gotta be a bit careful as well. They are being shot, exactly, from Hongshan. Can't peek down very freely here. 90 bullets left for Corky. Wants to make something work, wants to find an opening for his team. They have to move into a zone as well, so any opening he can find with that bolt will be absolutely massive.
It will be. WS underneath the line of sight here from PDW. For GK, with the rest of the cars lurking on in, they're going to have to figure out how they position themselves. So with the experience from that team, expect them to hold. The rest of the cars to move in and kind of use the height advantage. Back on the other side of the zone, as we all feel like we're bouncing backwards and forwards between the two. There's so much action unfolding. Navi also trying to breach the other part of the compound. And GK, they have activated now. There's one kill done dusted. Now they move in. The car has to go via full send here from WS. He's going to be caught on the rock though. If he's going to hold, he runs, but he's unable to find new home. And it's Phil first that will finish things up for BB team. And GK find themselves with maybe a next target on the chest.
That though, Fuzi man, he's dodging. He wants to get out. Glorious falls to the play zone. Corky knocked on the other side. It's just Fuzi man left, and he's been hunted down. Rough times for the labs. They started off so great. I said that maybe wasn't the hardest game they'll ever play, and the teams in the lobby are showing them right now. It ain't that easy, guys. We've been doing this for a long, long time, and we're struggling a lot of the time as well. 3 points collected. Oh, now Levi, who now have to go onto another send, or do they delay on their side of the road? They have a tiny amount of space, but really, calling this playable is a stretch mark.
It's ish. For now, I'm going to try and just wait. They have the opportunity now to kind of look over the top, see where they want to go. Zone shifts again further afield. They've got to try and make the play, but it's going to be explosive now in the south. Now we've got to decide whether they go round or if they go through. Freeside will have to potentially do the same. They go a bit too early here. And we'll see our division have the 3 shots on towards them. So a lot of decisions to be made. Footy Sports have so much control of zone. Arguably a bit too much. They might want to try and tighten down and figure out, or at least deny entry. Especially maybe for this southeast corner if Navi do want to play up.
Yeah, but it's for esports. They're trying to figure out how much they can get away with. They're not trying to play the safest way they can. They're trying to figure out how greedy can we be here. What amount of bluffing can we do before it gets called? That's what they're doing right now. How many angles can we grab to set ourselves up for kill points as well, right? That's why Scarf was so far to the edge. They're hoping that a team rotates in between. Mortars come in towards Freeside. That's looking dangerous enough. Close enough to be scary, but he should still be able to move around and dodge these as much as he can.
Try and dodge him where he can. Well, NLV got to try and dodge a nade. Monodok, level 3 vest. Nade will go out. Doesn't quite get the connection. Whoa, he does get the connection. He stands on the landmine now. Damage is done on the other side. Monodok goes right on the other side. Gets 2 for 2 nades. Now looking for the third though. Nade will go through. Should get the explosive action in the end. Doesn't have to do it at the end as he gets the org spray. And eventually will now fall. Best luck though. We'll try and continue to apply the pressure though. Now we need to try and get the med back on. They have Overwatch though. And it's going to be clean, a sweep. BB team annihilate the push from NLV.
Should be able to stay clean in this as well. Should be able to get their members back up. Navi on the other side, they swing past the compound. They realize that building is a little too hard for us to clear. We're just going to swoop on through and let you come into us. Eternal Fire, they want to activate here. They want to activate with the nades. Kepler finds 2 immediately. Perfect timing just after the res. And Eternal Fire wants to get these frags. They don't want to wait around. They don't want to get naded in their small little compound. They want to try and put some members here out of the action already.
Let's try it. Inside. The shots on the other side. Obviously, they can hear the danger from Hakatori. Who gets the city down. Might be the opportunity now for Freeside to get that res back on. Geeke applying pressure on the other side of the zone. They do try and take the fight towards the BB team. Back to full body. Second aid will go through. See, Uzi a little bit further. He has been spotted by Diffix, but Diffix zeroed in. Trying to land one of these nades onto the cluster of BB.
Trying to hold them out here. Blue zone damage will now be coming in. Molotov finds another opening though. Popping off on the other side of that fight earlier. Took more damage from Phil first than he did from Navilate. Now he's found the opener. Doozy finds a good bit of damage. Has to instantly hit that first aid again though. Pudetta is knocked from afar. It's a VSS coming in.
No.
A VSS to ruin the day. What is life?
Of all people, it's T-Bone. VSS has had the bump it needed. Now it's come into effect and causes huge amounts of damage. Shock and awe, but they will fall. Navi soon to follow. As we now get FUT Esports, though, 4 remain. BB Team with 4 as well. Freeside should be able to get back to a 4 as long as Eternal Fire don't continue to push, but it looks like they already are. Full house here in our top 4.
2 more nades here and a molly as well. They're looking to close this out as fast as they can. Again, take the kills where you can. Get yourself the space that you need to compete against the FUT Esports, who's taking control of the entirety of the zone. Ketbar's got to be a little wary, a little careful. He's playing with fire here. He doesn't know it, but sorry, I'm crazy. He doesn't either. Should be a free.
It should be. It is a freebie. Shield up does get one. He's on the other side. Final connection for him. No awareness to how close. And now BB Team punishing as well. Good launch a nade, doesn't quite get the connection, misses the tree though, but it doesn't matter, he's charging over the top. Street Fighter gear on his back, an org in hand, but it's not going to be the case, and they are fighting back Freeside.
Brazilians from Freeside here, staying alive, staying together, taking their fights controlled, not getting third party as much, not getting blasted from distance. Keeps them in it, gives them another placement, gives them another bit of frags. Kept there as well, right? He overpeaks, but getting just so distracted from the back lines that he doesn't get anything done. And what looked like a few points in the back for the Eternal Fire just quickly falls apart, especially because BB activate Mark, right? And they take down the player from Eternal Fire that's still playing at the bottom, and they start third partying, and just like that, your game falls apart.
I love it, absolutely love it. They have stolen so much zone, and they have been blessed time and time again. It could be fucking Pixel, he's not got a kill just at the moment, and he's trying his hardest now in 249. He actually has the ability to flip the car. Looks like T-Bone's there with a nade. It goes out. It's going to explode the cover a little bit. He's able to get a shot, but Monodok hits better though. T-Bone will fall. They got to ensure pressure here. Freeside get the free opportunity to push their way in. 80 gets one nearly for the second, but not going to be the case to get the conversion now as BB Team survive in the breach.
80's doing so much work here, so much damage. It hasn't all converted into knocks just yet, but that's one that walks into his building. And oh boy, they still got roofs. Scav finds the flush as well. The Doozy turns it around. 80 can't do enough to stop him. Coming down to not a whole lot numbers left. Now, Pixel and 80 versus a Doozy and Besto make that a Doozy and Besto versus 1. 80 still hasn't gotten a full picture of the situation. He's playing it slow. He's taking his time. And that gets Pixel just completely caught.
Gets caught. Was Pixel too desperate to try and convert the kill? Now the sound cues are going to be there. He can't quite see. He's getting an idea. He now hears the footsteps. Flash goes out, going for the jump as he repositions. Best on the outside there, but he's still got wall for cover now. As BB Team, well, they need to try and get rid of the final player for FUT Esports, which is 80, because Freeside, they're closing their way in. We know a duo can get a victory. We saw it in the last game. Flash does come back. Ainsley has to reposition himself. Now goes back towards the hold. Besto got to try and hold, but Ainsley's got himself on the good side of a push here from Freeside, but he needs Freeside to start rolling in the punches.
Crazy how this game's gone. Freeside basically dead to rights against Eternal Fire. And now they're looking like favorites to win this game. But AT has a bit to say about it. Takes the first, gets the reset. 3 gear still in play. Gets to just get his HP back up. Get the boosts rolling. Groza versus Groza as well. But no 3 gear on the side of a Doozy. And the Doozy's not aware. Neither might be 80. But a Doozy's for sure not aware of the danger lurking on the other side. He's fully locked in. Laser focused on 80. And Freeside can just take that side of the compound. Hang out, relax, and try and win the game later on.
He's got a zipline, right? So let's see if that comes into effect a little bit later. 12 kills here for FUT Esports. We already said that such an impact is had already on the leaderboard, and we'll bring the leaderboard up after this game before we get into that final game. Freeside, though, I said they've had the literally Freeside for this one. The powerhouses that were BB Team and FUT Esports clashed in this north side, and they're able to get the reset, run their way down. For now, it will be a little bit quiet. Doozy's looking to get that zip line off, maybe. You can see it in the distance. But Freeside are using the advantage, the tools in their chest, just to look through the door. Maybe try and catch him as he wraps his way around to try and take on Foot Esports.
EMT gear. EMT kit.
Power.
In the hands of AT. I just want a Doozy to headshot him now so he can show us how fast he's healing up. So, I'm not a public grinder myself, but I do know that your meds essentially become medkits that work faster than first aids, right? So you're speeding back to full HP, while your opponent is still used to you having to pull a first aid and a booster and then wait for that booster to kick in. So you can really catch people off guard. You can really abuse the timing. Same for reses, of course, right? You get a res off in such little time, and then you heal them up to full HP in such a little time. So taking a bit of damage can literally be a tactic, can literally be a tool. But so far, he hasn't even taken any damage yet.
No, trying to damage out in the blue as well. It's going to be a bit punish him. Free sides. Have closed this zone off. We've got 6 seconds though. Phase number 8. We are going to see the dot appear, and it's going to go towards Freeside, away from Aduzi, away from Ainsley. The observer shows us the lay of the land, and it just reinforces that Freeside have used the ridge to their advantage. They've closed down the powerhouses that were fighting in the compound. And now all they need to do is hold. Overextension too early, getting involved in the fight. Well, one of these two players will punish Freeside. They just need to keep cool, calm, and collective in the end zone.
Observer going out of their way to show us where this game will end as well, right? Showing us where the start will be. Observer understands how PUBG works. Phase 9 goes to the star. Doozy gets himself in zone, puts up the bullet shield. Decides to put it in a better spot. But come on, give us the zipline, right? Give us a zipline at least.
Shoot him with the zipline.
Oh, he's gotta be careful. Gotta be a little careful to not get caught off here. Again, he's still right focused on 80. He's still right focused on that second place, and that fight he was locked into earlier might cost him here.
Is he hearing the gunfire? Looking for his exit plan as well, as he does pop the smokes. That's going to stop Freeside. But if you have a little bit of elevation, we'll be able to see. You can see as he does leave the building, if he starts to crest his way up on that hillside, he's going to definitely hear the footsteps. Doozy Store locked in, Store looking to try and take the fight, Store looking to get revenge after losing his body, but with 12 kills, he's just put himself in a dangerous position. He comes out on the other side. Doozy will go. He's got the zip line ready to go now.
Yes!
He zips one. Let's go. Doozy, get to the second level as quick as you can. Can he get away with it? Yeah, he gets caught in the end. I like the effort. A for effort. Doozy will fall though. Freeside will claim it. It's 5 kills underneath the belt with an additional kills, but the kills will be going towards BB team and style points though with the zip line at the end.
What a win, though. Out of nowhere, right? Out of nowhere. Just staying alive against Eternal Fire, just getting themselves in the position that they got. And they shouldn't have stayed alive. I feel like Eternal Fire had that in the back, but Freeside just consolidate, play slow, play together, which is something Eternal Fire wasn't able to do. And then suddenly you're in position to win the game because BB and Foot just destroy each other, right? So it's the way PUBG works out sometimes. Foot Esports control the entire map for 5-6 circles, but one really good breach. Not this one. This one was masterfully handled by T-Bone. But one good breach from BB and suddenly the game's out of your hands.
And more, the new patch coming in. Zip lines under play as well, which I like to see. Just waiting for the BRDM to show, but really good play. Recall system though, Na'Vi used to perfection. They got themselves back on the bodies and got reset. Good amount of breaches as well. Fix using the MP5 to the advantages as they work their way. But this is what you was talking about before. Eternal Fire play in Freeside in a position where actually they're the team on the outside edge. They kept cool, they kept calm, they kept collective. The VSS got the claim there. They're able to get themselves a victory at the end. Really, really good play from them. I love what they've done. And despite, as you mentioned, they were on the bad side of the zone, they had teams holding them out time and time again.
Good stuff from AT as well. Staying alive here for quite a while, doing a lot of damage. Almost gets it done in the end, but Aduzi has the better spot, right? Gets himself into the better position. I would have loved to see him just sip up there, but not meant to me. Gets absolutely nailed in the head as well, right? Instantly body and head out. And Freeside claim a well-deserved win in game number 3. We're starting to see more and more, Mark. We're starting to slowly see people integrate it into the game. It's very, very new. The patch was literally today, right? You can't expect everybody to have it nailed down. But there's more and more of the gadgets coming in.
We love the gadgets, man. But what we do love is a very short break. When we take a short break, when we come back, though, we have our final game. And also we have an opportunity to potentially have a quick look at the leaderboard, though, before we finish off day number 1.
Every survivor lives for that electrifying moment. One heart-pounding match. One unforgettable thrill. But survival isn't just about one match. It's about how far you'll go, how high you'll climb. Now is the time to discover something bigger about yourself. To turn fleeting moments into a lasting mark. No longer just a moment. It's your legacy.
Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. This year, we're introducing structured competitive play in third-person perspective mode for players of all ranks, levels, and ability. Here's how it works in EMEA and Americas. PUBG Players Tour competition is held in 2-week phases. Each week, you and your squad can compete in player scrims. Think of these as a great alternative to ranked play. Each day of scrims will feature a variety of maps, with defined team and lobby sizes to ensure a balanced best-of-3 rounds. Teams will earn points based on their performance, and daily leaderboards will track their progress. When the scrims are over, the top teams will qualify for the PUBG Players Tour Cups, where they will be joined by up to 10 invited teams, featuring some of the best players in the region. Players Cup leaderboards will track team performances across 2 days of play, with the top 8 squads progressing to the final round of competition. Players Masters are the pinnacle of the PUBG Players Tournament. 8 teams from each of the 2 cups will engage in fierce competition for a huge prize pool in each region across the PUBG Players Tour season.
Welcome back in, everyone. 3 games done, 1 more remains, but don't forget it is a best of 8, so we have another 4 games tomorrow to cheer on the teams you want for victory. We still need to tot up the points because with the new system in play, you've got to bear with us, but I think there's clear leaders underway. And Kobo, I think there's a big point which we have to keep emphasizing: the kills, the kills, the kills. They are mattering. I know we've got all these new tricks that I know your brain will be thinking about how you can break them down in the esports environment, but it does come down to the kills, and the teams that are chasing them. We're seeing high kill gains because of the recall, but also because they're chasing the points.
I feel like, yeah, it's because everybody's chasing so hard. We see the recall come in, but it's maybe adding. I don't think it's adding more than 6 players a game. We see these parachutes, right? We see people coming on in, but I don't think it's adding more than, let's say, 10%, right? 6.4 players would be 10%. I don't think it's adding much more to that right now. When people optimize for it, when people strategize around it, that might change. For now, it's not what drives the massive change. And the massive change is really, for me, has to be the point system. Everybody is so aggressive, so early. Every split is getting breached. Every fight is getting third-partied. It's a different ballgame.
Love it. A small change, massive impact. Well, it's massive impact here. As I said before, it is a week number 1, day number 1, but more importantly, it's match number 4, people. It's a southwest up towards the northeast, does favour that northwest side of zone, so it hasn't been the blessings of the heart and soul of Erangel this time around. So there'll be a little bit of a stretch out to get the vehicles, maybe extend over towards a normal drop spot, but this side does favour some. And FUT Esports looked strong on that last one. ANC did hold up. They'll be happy with this flight path for themselves.
Very, very stacked towards the west and south, obviously, with this playing path. I think we have a Gatka hot drop here, and it's almost feeling like we have 3 teams in there. I feel like we see a brown and a purple, and I thought I saw a dark blue in there somewhere, but I guess that's kind of more an optical illusion. It's gonna be Wild Division and Win Style, so WD and WS fighting it out for Gatka.
They're fighting it out for the tag. That's what it is. They're fighting out for who will be the winner of the W tag. You was right. There was a blue. Freeside was tempted, and they are split north and south of here. Chewy has the Vector in hand. Doesn't have a vest or doesn't have a helmet though, and the damage is being dealt here. Style, cause the damage. Wild Division, I think I've got better positions, but doesn't mean they've got all the loot. But there's an MP5 closing on down.
Yeah, I think Windstyle would have the better spots if they had the 3-story or the flat top, I should say.
Yeah,
that is a big difference maker. That is a big difference maker. High ground information that you're getting is pretty powerful. That being said, this is another impact of what we're talking about the whole evening, right? We're yapping about all the kind of new stuff coming. There is a blue zone recall literally in this little town. So you can lose this, or you can win this hot drop and lose 3 players on it, and it's no problem at all. Unless you get immediately re-breached, no problem at all. So might be a bit of a location for teams to hot drop in the future. That being said, Skittles is not hot dropping. They're hot dropping in the present.
Whoa.
And Global Army finds one at least.
Does find one pre-fire. The door definitely is open, by the way, people. That's because we bounce on over here. Skittles gets confirmation. Back to your point now, you're right. But they've got time, right? But they've got a countdown timer. If they want to take the fight, they're going to try and take it quickly. If they lose some bodies, currently they've got 1 minute 5 in order to get those chips into the recall system. Well, here comes the first knock here. Wild Division. Let's get Shaggy Q through the window, and now the free stack activates. And they are closing in the pincer of Wild Division, forcing these guys into the back corner, but they have set up a little bit of a trap. They just need one of the Wild Divisions to step on the landmine.
I love quick reaction, quick push. Shaggy gets flushed as well. They don't mess around. And something I sort of maybe forgot a little bit about is how many roofs you can get on these yellows. So that's actually giving even a bit of more of an advantage towards Wild Division. But there is
coming now.
Yeah, exactly. That is what everybody's afraid of when you're in such an open hot drop. He doesn't really have the angle just yet, but if he gets a little closer and he sees a few more knocks in the kill feed, he can come and he can third party and he can flush these kills out right away.
But this re-emphasizes your point, right? That the kills are so important. Historically, we'd see teams, they might not be the third party. They might have a little look. If the fight's not really going, they'd leave. The zone shifted towards the northeast, right? Stauber is where we need to go. But not just one team's come here. A second team has also come looking for some additional points. Does he know he's getting another team wrapping behind? They have no idea. They have someone also lurking as well. It just plays into how crucial, and this is why PUBG have made this call. By changing the placement points, re-emphasizes the kill points. They've not increased the kill points, just reduced the placement points, and it's forcing these teams to work. Good initial connecting shots, doesn't quite get the final knock that is needed, but it does give the information that the third party / fourth party is underway, and it also gives information to the teams that are in Gatka.
This is quite literally the most risky thing about a third party of a hot drop is you might not be the only one going for it. And then you're rolling up to these yellows and you think, wow, they're free. We know everybody's in Gatka, right? And just like that, you find yourself caught out of position. You lose your first member and you're wondering where it all went. Black League Zero goes out on the other side. Why? Because FUT Esports is also coming around. And you get an angle on the angle on the angle, and then suddenly Pixelic is there and shoots you in the back. So this is fully coming into effect now. Nobody's really understood yet what it's going to do to the game. but everybody's just already living the consequences. And everybody is so thirsty for these frags.
Yep. Our division doesn't have to overpeak, doesn't have to keep the pressure on because they've got the recall system here. We have another team entering the mix as well. So what's that, 4, 5? Got half the lobby at this point. Feels like we're fighting for Gatka on the outside edge. So that routes are not going to be the case here. The wrap round comes round to the top. They want to take the higher side here. 3 sides there. He's going to leave the compound. He's got the Panzer in hand. They don't whistle through. They do crash on in. God, does get one. Spray will happen. Ava gets damage. Here comes the car. Goes for the seat swap. Gets a connection. But he goes down in the car. He gets out a bit too early. This is playing back into the sides. A free side now. Knocks on either body. And sorry, I'm crazy. Says, sorry, I'm not involved in this 4th, 5th party. I'm making my way back to try and help out.
What an absolute mess. Cantix now still has the Panzerfaust in the bag as well, right? Observer can't even keep up because everywhere the fights are kicking off. Wild Division finally finishes one of them. Windstyle out. And now there's mortars coming in. Because why not, right? I mean, not really connecting at all right now. But listen, Mark. We talked about the recall, right? We talked about how it pops up on the map, how it's loud. There's mortars in the game. You can literally just sit somewhere and wait for the recall to come in and mortar the person on the recall, right? That's literally a play you can make in PUBG Esports now.
Do you know who the loser is in the lobby? Unfortunately, it's the observer. Because there's so much going on. And what do you look at? AC goes for 1, gets a knock, 0. Well, there was 0 trace of them in this lobby. 15th place as they will fall down. Pixel gets killed. They're going to get a reset now. As I said, the zone has shifted further away. We're getting more action, though, on the south side, though, as the Labs will take on Geek. Sparrow just going to try and hold as he's using the third party. On the other side of things, Diffix are there, but we've already seen teams unfortunately fall. Numbers are out. Quizzy, again, with a Panzer. It's kind of the game for antics, but like super style. I like this. I like patch day. This is made the day very, very explosive by one simple change from PUBG.
One simple one. I think we had a few today.
No, but just for one, come on, the C4s, the BRDMs, that's not forcing them to fight like this is. The kill points, they're really forcing them to kill. There's a quick kill confirms. They're looking trying to breach in. Geek looking to close out the Labs. We had a great start here, but they have the opportunity to try and survive this one out. Geek surrounding the compound. Do they stay or do they go? We'll have to wait and see.
Dino holding on to dear life, surrounded by the sharks. Support's now coming in. The cavalry is here, but I think Spyro is more than ready for this. And Labs addicted. They've pulled up quietly. Spyro's got 7 bullets in that. Yeah, okay, he hits 3 though. Good for him. Quizzy, he's using the Panzerfaust. Dano has no chance. He says, well, sorry, miss. But that point needs to be on my leaderboard side. Spyro finds one with the AK. Oh my god! Whoa!
Oh, PDW got it as well. Corgi thought he was safe, but he refused to let them go. DK claim at least some kills in the bottom. They've got a rotation on as well. And the Labs, well, they've got to go back to the lab and do some research now into the final 4 games. They'll join us back tomorrow. ATL said they're down for 1. This is insane. I thought Spirit had it. Great initial shots. He had huge amounts of damage down to 1. And PWD swings on by.
They're going to come back tomorrow. The Labs addicts. They have gotten their first taste of PUBG Esports. They got in a good first game. And then they got a little lesson in how hard this is. And how easy it is to watch. And how hard it is to play. I know Corky's had some fun with the bolts. We've seen a few knocks come out of multiple members of the team, right? We've seen them pop off here or there. But it comes down to an early end. That being said, it's phase 1. And I'm watching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams in the blue zone. Hunting each other down in cars.
Pixel's chasing down the final player. ATL, though, as the rest of them are on this top side, they reposition now as they are just chasing heavy in towards blue. It is phase number 2. Don't worry, we haven't got any major med-offs at the moment, but we are chasing down additional points. Scav, the new boy, driving for 30 Esports. Ain't see... Oh, sorry, Scav taking the shot, so Ain't taking the drive. Maybe they're testing the new boy, see if he can get the connection. Still got some more time. I thought my ATLs were running out of area to run to.
Man, this is mad. The
Love
red
it.
zone as well.
Absolutely love it.
Gigi just having to swing around. Gigi just realizing, we can't. They're going through it. Oh, okay, they just lived through it. Okay, next red zone is in Rozhok. Few teams in the circle wondering where the heck everybody else is.
100%.
Oh, this is absolute carnage. We talked about last game antics, you know, that's your term for it. It goes crazy sometimes. This one's special. This is different.
This is next level. We are actually just chasing cars around. Scam gets the second time. He goes for the spin up. Looks for the connection. Goes to the other side. ACC swaps and steals it away from him as well. They need to move on. Zone shifts down. We still have an element of water play. But you're right. Surely the teams in the middle are like waiting for a mate here. Is anybody coming to the zone to play?
No one's coming to play. The birthday party invites have gone out and no one's shown up. You're just sitting in the center compound. Sorry, gotta stop speaking about my past. We have a PUBG game to cast. Eternal Fire.
that was a scar.
Under fire. It's just completely derailing here, guys. It's tough. It's tough. Eternal Fire, struggling. Storm Request, struggling after their first game. They put up a massive amount of frags in the first one, and they've been rather quiet since.
Love it. Storm Request. They had some huge kills, and that's part and parcel of. They were the team hunting people down game number 1, but they found the zone this time. BB not too far away. Still more fighting in the blue. Face number 2, though, as Skittles taking on Don't Panic. A team from game number 1 showed us how the recall system worked in esports. Conveniently, it's the same way it works in normals. But they might be trying to lurk here. They might be trying to survive out the blue in Boatyard to get some blue chips on the go again, and maybe they can play the final game out as a solo. Wild Division is running. It's a head-to-head battle. Maybe it's a duel off. Maybe it's a pan fight at the end here. Do I even know?
They are a little split, eh? Cantix, absolutely nowhere. The Observer.
Observer is getting absolutely trolled today. Oh, we are so sorry. We are so sorry.
You saw the little very angry shake of the camera, like, what the hell is going on? He's just trying to observe for us, poor man. Ay, ay, ay.
It's not the plane, it's the patch.
Everyone is struggling today. Everyone is struggling today. It's a wild day. It's a wild division. 3-man. One guy stuck in the blue. He knows that Sorry I'm Crazy is here. Sorry I'm Crazy knows he's here. Rest of the team nowhere to be found.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Oh no, he doesn't know. Does he know? Is he second guessing? He's moved position.
He knows.
Get the flash out. Here comes the Molly. Here comes the nade. He knows that if he gets it right, he's going to move the cover. But he runs back if he gets caught. Sorry, I'm crazy. Sorry, I'm better with the org spray. I can dodge your nades, and I will ensure I can make my way towards zone and find some hope, some glory. Team is making their rotation round in zone. The zone bounces back towards a northwest position. UB team hold the gateway from Yaz back towards where Foot Esports are, and Navi looking to apply some pressure that way.
Yeah, it's gonna be. We're gonna have to switch gears here in a bit because we're gonna talk normal PUBG again in just a few seconds here as everybody's moving into zone. Twisted Minds looking to take a fight towards Eternal Fire. Coming out of Yaz, they've gotten the opening already, but Toolins is in close proximity. Providing a bit of Overwatch. Should be kicking off in just a bit. There's not a lot of space left here for Eternal Fire to go, but not easy for Twist to force that fight either.
No, use the angle well. He knows he's there. The Mad also in, watches the Molly in, but he goes down the corridor. Too far away from the Toolings. He's just waiting for that head peek. He's seen it. Now he might be tempted to launch some shots, but be cautious. That door frame might causes some issues. It comes down towards the spray. Let's take a back step. I'm talking about a back step. Don't panic. They take one. 12th place for them. Skills eventually finishing things off. And there comes the nade. Sheila does find Batulins. Initial knock. The rest of the team affected Perfectix moves his way around as he's launching a chef kiss nade.
Already the way that Twist had this planned out, they had the opening knock, they were looking to just convert. Now they're worse for wear. Perfectix. We talked about names earlier. We talked about sneaky name changes. Read that one again. Just literally that man renamed to Perfect Kiss and no one ever noticed. He's been on that name for a year and a half and nobody has realized yet.
It's like the PWD though. Like, you might be able to give the perfect kiss, but he's Perfectix in the eyes. Like PWD is PWD, not PDW. We'll have a word with him. Oh no, Crazy Lou's actually stuck up. He's able to get the mad, but no, Sheeta's there. Launches a couple more shots though. Information comes out from the other side. We'll launch a few more. Nades over the top. He has already backed away. Sheeta puts in to a bit of safety. Should be able to get the res back in. As the Overwatch, well, does produce what is needed. For example, now let's think about if he gets the res, they have no idea that PDW Geek8 has also arrived.
Reunion of the name changers. 6 frags for Geeky already. Make that another knock. Make that another frag. Tap, tap, tap away.
Whee!
Not sure what's going on there. Oh, there's people EPing. Okay, yeah. Hello. That's what we're looking for. Catching planes is hard. Catching parachutes is harder. Olivier are coming on into this, but I don't see this going very well. Do you, Mark?
It's like the, okay, I need to get some loot. Where do I go? Well, I go to the town. I've got like 15 seconds to get some loot and move in. Like, but
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I guess where else do you go? Yeah, I get it, yeah.
You hot drop the compound, you expect it to be taken, right? We know BB there, obviously we got the advantage. I suppose the only play they've got is to come here, but there's so little left of Yaz. What are they really going to get out of this compound?
Yeah, and they have 2 teams holding them as well, right? So that makes it a whole lot harder. Saucid gets knocked at the kill feed, but Freyr stays alive versus Diffix. Holds down the fort, at least for a little bit. Freenet doesn't do the job, but the AUG does. Can't say we've seen a big switch away from it just yet, and can't say we've seen players punished for it either. Changes are subtle, changes are small. But man, I thought we'd get to see a little bit more calm and collected PUBG. It hasn't stopped blowing the lobby up.
9 teams remain. For those that might have just jumped in, even if we get to 8, we're still not in the placement points. A top 4 is what we're looking for with placement points. We still get 1.8 kill, but it has changed the lay of the land as we keep singing that song. Scout the new voice for Esports looking to try and take the fight as they whistle by. Wild Division, fortunately, will now fall T-Bone. Internal Fire have been working their way in. Geek8 are playing all by themselves and splitting, trying to get as many kills as they can get. They've been causing a lot of damage for these teams. PWD, well, he takes a huge amount of damage. Internal Fire will end the Geek8 run in 8th place.
Good molly comes in. Sloy burns to a crisp. Foot moves up, closes that out before it even starts. And as I say that, that second molly is somehow not reaching, not doing the trick, not doing the work, but Skittles is on the retreat either way. Foot should get the reset, and Storm on Request has a few points sailing their way.
They do. The winds have changed for them. They've got 1. Need to get that confirmation before it gets stolen away. Looking to try and do that now. There's number 2 on the board for them. We'll have to try and hide, but the shot's underneath the car from Pixel. This lobby is Big Betty alive. I don't know if to connect underneath the car, but unlucky enough, doesn't quite get the connection for the dancing player on the ridgeline.
Shots don't always land as pretty as you want them to. It's the way the game works, right? Movement's a bit random. You gotta lead into one direction, the player goes into the other. You don't have to feel bad about missing these shots, chat, if Pixel misses them as well. Keeps Storm on Request. Still 4-man strong. They don't look like it, because we only see in 2 of them in that situation, but they are spread widely across the circle. They are indeed still 4-man strong.
team is 4-man strong. UB team. And they took that sort of highway out of Yaz. And they got a couple of kills. And now they're sort of pushing back towards that sort of west. They now find Eternal Fire. LV, they lose 1. 2 BB team. So you have to change their approach a little bit more in towards zone. Find themselves in the middle of a storm and request. And unfortunately for them, timing might not be right. If they do turn around and get in the car, got to be careful. But back towards the main fight. Eternal Fire trying to deny BB team any more points at the moment. Popping over the top. Molotov, well, good connection, but it does go both ways. Minute 32, the zone is collapsing in. There's an argument to say Eternal Fire on the slower side, but they might not have the cover to fight it out.
Yeah, Dudes is on a good off angle there as well, right? He's already so close. He's got to be a little careful, but with support from his team, should see BB team get away with it here. There is a Doozy now. Oh, Sheila doesn't spot it. Oh, he was on his screen for a second there, but Sheila didn't spot it. Now the shots come out. A Doozy exposes himself. Sheila is going to be cooking that nade, and that should be primed and ready to knock the BB IGL on his knees, but it's not. He gets out in time. Doesn't get his knock either, though. So it's just a reset, but I think that reset, like you said, that favors BB team a little bit here, and now the res from far comes in. Best of the job with the MK, and the space is clearly an advantage for BB team here.
Yeah, I suppose Eternal Fire have only got really the zone on the side. It's going to be a short shift in it, but after that, they're really tight. They've sort of bunched themselves together. Uzi tried to get the nade, didn't get the connection, but done the right thing. This is where we see the depth of knowledge from BB team. Disengage. They know they've got the better position to play out from later. From here, for Esports, hearing all the action, they come to have a quick look. It's like, well, he's going to say no to a quick rotation away here from Scav. 8 kills here from Footy Sports in another game. They've been greedy enough to hold zone. They've been greedy enough to chase people down. Oh, they just need to figure out how they're going to try and piece together a win, as it's so stolen away from last game.
Not looking good right now for Eternal Fire. Gotten the best shift possible, but still getting peppered on the way through. Same is to be said for Skittles. RSTQ gets himself outside of the shack, but that can't be long-lived. He's fully open here. The smoke comes out. He's dodging and weaving. Trying his very, very best. Storm Crest got to figure out where he is before they can start nading him out, but Reactive's so close. He's going to get that molly in the door, surely, and just like that.
Oh, no.
Skittle. First player that we saw from Skittles this game was getting mollied. Last player we saw from Skittles was getting mollied in the shack. Not their game. Not their game, but Storm on request. They kind of needed this one.
Yeah. But for those that are new into chat, if you only just joined in on the last game, because there are only 4 games today, which we do a best of 8, 4 each day. And those that might have been watching us on social media, we do have a change of placement points. So we are now in the placement points. It's not a top 8 anymore. It's a top 4, where if you get the victory, it's half price, and it's chicken dinner for 5. That's why you've seen such an explosive game when it came down to kills. BB team, though, a team that have centered themselves up. They found themselves in the middle of the zone, but found themselves with no neighbors to kill until now. It's a 4 versus 4 versus 3 versus 3. For Esports, hold the majority of the zone, but it's quite open. They've got to be very, very careful, because Feel First taking advantage.
They want to win that game as well. They want to close it out. And some big shots on their team. Same is true for Eternal Fire. Phil First, you're a little out in the open here, buddy.
Oh.
Knock comes in. Rez surely soon to follow, but that costs them smokes, costs them time. Gives the other teams around them space. A Foot Esports could now maybe get the res, and Ketba, he's just got the pixel angle. Oh, he doesn't know how much damage he's just done. He doesn't know how close he got to the flush. Just spams the smoke in the right spot.
He's like a pixel to the left. Shoot.
Yeah. He doesn't know how much damage he's doing as that zone's closing on in. 4v4, 3v3. This can still go either way.
It can. It comes down to sort of what have you got left. We've seen Eternal Fire, unfortunately, a number of no helmets remain. Storm on the Crest, on the other hand, though, is the same. A little bit of util, not heavy amounts, a couple of smokes, more flashes, got to be closer for that. T-Bone does get K-Deal down. Unable to try and get the flush. They do have a little bit of a res. Here come the drops.
That's some
The
juicy
double
drops.
will be blessed toward or tempted to foot esports, though. How close is Pixel? I think that's the biggest question. He might be looking to go out of zone for that one.
He's about to hop on a mountain bike. Or a yeah. Look at him. Yeah.
You know it. It's definitely there. You don't even have to see it. You know if Pixel's in the game, there's some craziness around him.
Oh, he wants that. He knows he wants it as well. If he had an inflatable boat, he'd be rowing down that mountain right now. But no, he's got the discipline. He's got the discipline to be serious enough. He wants to win this game, even if there is double drops waiting for him.
No. You know T-Bone's like, no, Pixel. And he's like, but I can come res you and then get the drop after. No, Pixel, you need to try and hold. You ain't in a really good position. We're going to be able to get the res here, so leave the drops to us. Someone Crest got a great eye. Thinks he trying to look back that way. Scav produces the damage, but doesn't get the knock. He's got the zip line on his leg, so maybe that's going to play a bit later. Maybe not as impactful as a doozy. 3 kills for BB team. They hold the outside edges. All eyes on Storm and Request. They've got to rotate one way, and they've picked the way towards Foot Esports.
BB needs to be a short destruction here. They're lucky that BB's still busy. Scav finds one. Molotov finds the other. Every single angle combined. Storm and Request is out. Foot take a knock here. Slows them down a bit. But I think, again, it's just another reset mark here. It's just another reset again for Foot Esports. The space that BB has been able to garner, though, it looks really strong for them right now.
It does look strong. But again, everyone's been kind of grinded down. First, no vest now. Helmet. Doozy, though, doesn't matter. He charges on 4. He looks for 1. He does get hit back. First, Overwatch. Looking now for the flash. Information gained. Can't get that point under the belt, and as they continue looking this way, Foot Esports hear the ringing of shots on the high ground, and they charge on forward.
Oh, BB is caught,
perfect.
Pants down, no idea what's coming their way. Oh, BB. I was ready to sing their praises. Best team in Europe. PGS 8 winners, but they slept through this one. They were snoozing. Caught slacking. Just Besto left. Eternal Fire could outlive them here now. Could outplace them. And Foot is swarming the circle mark. It ain't looking good.
It's not looking good. He launches the gas can forward. But you've got to take the shots first. Flash is coming back forward though, but T-Bone gets that conversion. 4 versus 2. Eternal Fire's game has always been to out-survive here. But it's going to go in their favour. Let's see if they can try and get the conversion, but they haven't got the zone on this side. Scav, the new words I mentioned before, looking to prove a point by Foot Esports though. Catch 1. Fortunately for Eternal Fire, they deny 1. 18, well, get the nade. Foot Esports though, 14 kills. Kills are king of this lobby. They will drive their way through to a much-deserved win, as it was stolen away from them in the last game. But good win for them. 14 kills, another 5 placement points on top, though a very impactful game for Foot Esports.
19 points, that's winning 3 games, right? That's absolutely massive. 3 games and 4 kills, or whatever way you want to shape this. Massive stuff for Foot Esports. They will be topping whatever is the leaderboard after these 4 games. First thing that comes to mind, Eternal Fire with the deny. That's going to be a thing that we're going to see a whole lot more once everybody figures out this point format, this system, right? Denies, just as kills have become double as important, denies have become double as powerful. So that's something that I expect we'll see moving forward. We'll see that more for sure.
Yeah, everyone's getting used to it. New patch, new updates. Even the observers, we have to catch up with things that are being produced out right in front of us. But it's been really good. I'm really interested to see how things break down. Labs had a great game number 1, but unfortunately they moved a little bit too late and they got herded together between Storm, who actually did storm away with a huge amount of kills. Twisted Minds did bag the win. And then I just felt every game after that, it was just, what else could we use, guys? What else is new in this patch update? And it's just been a great day number 1.
Great day number 1. For everybody except Observer and production behind the scenes, sweating to work around the new patch, sweating to get us a leaderboard while everybody in chat is just busy complaining. Hard day. for all the people behind the scenes. Hard day for some of the teams in the lobby. Twisted Minds, I think, a little underwhelming today. They started well, and then they kind of fell off a bit. Na'Vi, signs of brilliance, and some catastrophic games as well. GK, I think, massively impressive today, even though they don't win it out in the last one, and Foot maybe steals the show a little bit, but I like what we saw from GK today.
Insane. Diffix, insane. He pieced apart Na'Vi on that hold, and as you said, he should have got it. He should not have got it. A really good play for them. Geeko played well. Twisted Minds played super controlled as well. We saw outstanding. If Foot Esports can get space, they can be creative. You said they steal the space. They was able to try and convert as much as they can. So good hold from them. You know, T-Bone loves TPP anyway, and Pixel being controlled a little bit more, not going always for the drops. So really good play. Na'Vi felt like a bit more of a blind pushing for me, though. They were trying to get aggressive points, and sometimes that works, Karo. Sometimes it doesn't. So from the first game, obviously didn't work out, but Na'Vi, we know they've got the resilience to do the conversion. So I won't be too surprised for them to be up their leaderboard today.
I know they're up the damage leaderboard. I know Hakatori is doing Hakatori things again, just putting absolute numbers on this lobby. This one's a crazy one as well. This one is looking like an Eternal Fire one. And suddenly Freeside just outlived them. Just pure resilience on their part, holding things together. And it gives them the free side. It gives them the free win. No matter what AT tries to do, no matter how good the angle from Medusi, the zip line, none of it mattered. Free side, position themselves in the right spots at the right time, and close out that game.
So wanted that. So wanted that zip line to make a difference. It would have been so cool. Zip just went up to the second floor. They got 2 versus 1. And that was our 3 normal games, guys. And for those that were here for game number 4, oh my god. Craziness. Everyone eager for the points. Everyone eager for the kills. I'll be interested to see, actually, Koa, when we come back tomorrow, because we do have another 4 games tomorrow. But will we have a big takeaway here from the game? Will we see the leaderboard change up because of the level of aggression that we've seen? And does that continue going into the final 4 games? Well, we're going to have to wait and see. But I can just see it being more and more explosive the further we go down this Player Cup.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody's going to figure out what's going on. Everybody's going to figure out what the deal is with this stuff. Today was the absolute definition of getting thrown into cold water and being supposed to figure out how to swim. Some teams did figure it out, some teams not. No surprises there. But it was a crazy start to all of these new changes. 44 points for Foot Esports, clearly in first place after the last win. You have to say 19 of those points came from the last game. Last game. But still impressive what they were able to achieve all the way through the day.
Do you know what I really like? Again, huge shout out to production. We already said that because obviously they had to try and make things work, and obviously where things change, that unsets the norm. You've got to put things together. I kind of like the leaderboard as well because it tells a story about Foot Esports for me. They've kind of worked their way up. Yeah, so game 1, game 2 are okay. Game 3 they hit hard. Game 4 they hit harder as well. And then obviously you can see the trends when we look at things like GK. They go up and down, up and down. Storm obviously had a great day number 1, but it wasn't a great ending. So they can go back and revisit kind of the middle maps. So I do really like it. I do like this the look that we do break down these the games bit by bit. Labs had a great start, but were unable to convert when it came a little bit later. They're down in 15th place, but again, these are creative players, Koa, so expect them to learn quickly. And as you said during the stream, these are the players that have used the new tools to the chest to their advantage. They just need to learn how can they apply it when it comes down to these final 4 games.
Yeah, it's a tall task. We're asking a lot from them right now. Again, getting thrown into very, very cold waters. As you can see, teams like Twisted Minds, teams like Na'Vi struggling with what's going on at the moment. No wonder that a team as fresh and as new as the Lab Assistants will struggle a little bit. Again, shout out to production for making everything work. I know they had a hard day today. Shout out for everyone for watching. We had a bit of fun with craziness going on in all the games. But we have more games tomorrow, Mark, right?
More games tomorrow. Final 4 games, as I said. We get things reset up here. The players are going to go away. Look, you need to go play some more PUBG. 36.1, the PUBG update is out. And if more importantly, if you think you've got what it takes to bring it to this lobby, make sure you get signed up, though. We'll get all the events and details out in chat. But for now, we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Peace.